Hello, and you are welcome for another episode of your favourite and, let's be honest, the only show worth listening to, the Upperhive Lorekeepers. As always, I am the host with the most, Spamiel the Great. And joining me to my right, as always, my partner in crime, no matter the time, he's the brat who thinks he is all of that. Coming at you live from Trazier Hive, it's Nathan. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. That was actually amazing. You've thrown me a bit there. I didn't think you had that in you.
Stop! You're ruining Upperhive Lorekeeper's voice.
Sorry,
it's supposed to be snooty.
Yes, snooty. Yes. Well, I will tell you, I have listened to the so-called Underhive Lorekeepers, and they are without doubt garbage.
They are garbage, although that tall one
garbage.
is rather handsome.
No, he was, as we like to refer to him, a sniper's dream.
It's because of the size of his gargantuan head. Can we not do Upperhive voice this episode? It really hurts my throat.
No. Let's continue it. And I think we should continue it into more and more episodes. Continue it forever. No, let's not do Upperhive voice.
Yeah, good, because I hate that guy.
The effort we put in for the Upperhive voice is too much.
Yes.
It drains us, and we want to put all of our energy back into the show, folks, for you.
That's right.
Our beloved audience.
Because we're hard-hitting journalists now. Remember, we have journalistic integrity? We mentioned it last episode that we were journalists now. We're journalists.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Can't you tell? I'm wearing a suit. I have a tie on. I'm not wearing pants, but I'm wearing the top of a suit.
Well, okay, that does explain why I had people just dropping off stories to my front door, wanting me to post them, as they were saying. Post it in the next run, Nathan. I was like, okay. I don't know what that means.
I'm picturing you getting up at the crack of dawn to go and, dig a hole somewhere. And you walk out in your muddy gumboots and your coal mine. I'm assuming you wear a coal mining hat everywhere. And you walk outside and there's just like half a dozen 1920s newsies. The 8 to 10-year-old boys in like the Peaky Blinder style hats and their button-up shirts and like, "Oi, mister, got the early edition?" Yeah, and then I'm imagining you kicking said children because it's weird that they're hanging out outside your door.
Well, that's almost identical to what happened, except they claim to be police officers. But anyway, moving on.
Oh, Melbourne.
Yeah.
What is this?
Where's your machete? I don't have one. Right.
I put it in the bin. You told me to.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So what are focus re-rail. I don't even know where we're going and where we're headed.
No.
But right.
It is okay. Necromunda and this stuff. We are focusing on this. So you know what? Before we get into this, dude, the day this episode comes out, the morning of, it will have been, I think it's the World Championships of Warhammer.
Oh, yeah, with Warhammer
Fest.
There's
the reveals.
Yes.
So let's get in. Let's put down some predictions of what we think is coming. Like, this will be fun. And so first off, I'll read this from the top. Ready? First off, we have I believe it's the official sort of unveiling of Warhammer Quest Darkwater. Now, that's obviously the new Warhammer Quest box set. We've seen a couple of the characters so far. We've seen... what is it? I was going to say squat. We've seen a dwarf. We've seen
Ranger.
Like the
human
Caesar
knight.
Sigma human knight.
Yep.
I believe it's the sort of Bretonian style woman where she's got like the sword, but she's got the lantern off her backpack.
Yep. Yep.
So this is obviously the Warhammer Quest box, and from the pictures of the blurry images Games Workshop have released on their potato phone, I believe it is Nurgle. I'm 90% sure from the images and the stills and the videos, it's going to be Nurgle Chaos Warriors And if the dark gods truly love me, it will be pestigores. And I'm telling you now, Nathan, look me in the eyes when I say this.
I'm trying not to.
I'm telling you now, I'm buying that box. If it is pestigores, I'm buying that box. I'm buying it, and you're going to wind up with 2 sets of the good guys because I don't want no good losers. I need me a whole mess of Nurgle warriors and pestigores.
Right, okay. I'm down with that. I do also believe, looking at that image of the box, you can see all what I would refer to as the bad guys in, like, the northern part of the board, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
But there's also 4 characters sitting off the board who I don't believe are Nurgle characters on the southern side of the board. Those are the ones I'm most excited for. I want to see what those 4 are.
And I get where you're coming from. I do. But if you look like... Yeah, it looks like there's like an elf and like a wizard, and I'm assuming it looks like an ogre, but there looks like a Nurgle ogre sort of guy there.
In the centre of the board.
Yeah. In the centre of the board there, yeah. So that's also like some Nurgle ogres. Like, let's have a look. So if you look at this, 8 good guys on that side, and then there's and it even says it's a particularly rotten potato cam. Games Workshop, why are you doing this to me? And then obviously the picture of the box has like Beastmen on there and stuff, but they look full blown like new sculpt pestigores and
I totally believe they're going to be. Yeah, no. I totally believe they're going to be Nurgle orientated. I wouldn't say that we're going to be having anything too wild. Because I think just Nurgle's it's a safe bet. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a little bit more of a like play with the individual characters with Nurgle.
Yeah.
You can sort of have them be a bit silly. You can sort of have them be a bit like really nasty. There's a lot of options, I believe, available with Nurgle. But there are other stuff due for the release as well. So, there's Imperialis,
40K.
Which is 40K. Yeah.
40K. 40K. What do you reckon's coming? Other than a Primaris Marine.
I think there will be definitely hints towards 11th edition.
11th edition? Okay, I'm going to say Plastic Titan.
No.
Yep, Plastic Titan.
No way.
That's my vote. You say 11th edition, I say Plastic Titan. Both unlikely and unrealistic, but I think they're coming.
I don't know. I don't know about 40K because I don't know what armies haven't been released yet. I think I'm pretty sure all the armies have their codex now. I'm pretty sure nobody's...
Farside Enclaves.
Potentially there is that.
Oh, wait, no, he's in the Tau Codex, isn't he?
Yeah. But there could be like a rework of it or something like that. So,
Kroot Codex. Okay, cancel the Plastic Titan. It's a Kroot Codex.
But there's basically a Kroot army available anyway.
Exactly, Kroot Codex.
Okay.
All right, Age of Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar. You tell me.
I reckon dwarves.
Actually,
I reckon it's going to be like generic dwarves, like the old Bengali.
Yeah. Well, given the look of that ranger that's coming, and from a few more, I guess, seasoned heads within the communities, I think there is a rumor that dwarves are going to be coming. So that'll be interesting. It'll be really nice to see the reimagined version, the modern version of what the Age of Sigmar team believe the dwarves should look like, because we've got that Marauder kit that's come that we've talked about that we're in love with. And if we didn't speak about it on one of the main episodes, we definitely spoke about it on our hobby diary. So I think
ranted a lot about that on our last hobby diary.
You did. So I'm hoping we see something that is a rework of some old miniatures. I think I'd really like to see that, just to see what exactly we are in store for. And what do you think?
All right. Dwarves.
Oh, you said dwarves. Sorry,
I
you said,
I genuinely think it's dwarves. All right, the Horus Heresy.
Now, this one's a difficult one for me because, one, I don't know a great deal about Horus Heresy stuff that has and has not come. I guess I'm expecting them to do plastic kits. So, which is obvious, but like the plastic kits of stuff that hasn't been made the transition from Forge World to Horus Heresy as yet. I would love to see some more.
Cool.
Yeah, I would love to see some more Solar Auxilia, but again, I don't have enough knowledge of the range to go, hey, I'd like to see that particular kit. So, yeah, I'm hanging out to see probably more marine plastic kits of like more of the oddball stuff, maybe more Legion specific, and then probably like some of the kits that, like, I think they're called destroyers, the generic sort of...
Yeah, so you got like the breaches, the destroyers with like basically they're just chemical weapons type guys. You got the bites. We've obviously got the Mark II and the Mark VI assault squads. Or we've got them already. Cool. So generic stuff. I agree with you entirely. I think we will more likely... I don't agree with you with the Legion-specific stuff, but I do believe we will see more generic stuff. Stuff that everyone has. Breaches, destroyers, scouts, snipers, etc., etc.
Yep. I'm on with that. Yep.
Okay, so then the next one, Legion Imperialis. This is all you. Go for it.
Oh my God. What I want to see... Now, this is the area where I want to see some more specific things come out. There was a while ago, I think maybe even the last Warhammer Fest, it was spoken about that, there's going to be a real push to make sure that everything that's available for the Horus Heresy armies as a generic lot will be available before they really start pushing into more things. But I think Legions Imperialis needs a bit of an injection, a bit of a shot in the arm to drive it forward a bit, to sort of, I don't know, I feel like it needs to be reinvigorated a bit, and that would be really nice with, dare I say, Primarchs, but more probably maybe some Legion-specific specialist troops. We have mentioned in the rule books and so forth of particular weapons that are available, like autocannons in infantry units and so forth, and we haven't seen any of that yet. So I would like to see the variations in the different types of heavy weapons. I would like to see the variations in the different types of Solar Auxilia weapon support units and so forth. They've done an amazing work and have an amazing catalogue with the vast amount of tanks and so forth we have available. But I feel like the infantry probably needs a bit of love. One of our Discord members actually noted about having ordinati or ordinatus weapons, mechanicums, ordinatus weapons, which are just huge, monstrous things, probably, on the size of a Legion's Imperialis table, probably the kin of a Titan type range. So that would be really cool to see, cool. But I would love to see, like, the reality is Legions Imperialis and the Horus Heresy are about the Legions. They're like the Solar Auxilia and Mechanicum are very important, necessary factors within the whole makeup of the story. But it is about the Legions, and I think especially with Imperialis, a bit more love needs to be shown to those. But we'll see. Maybe we get that giant autocannon placement turret thing that came in the Horus Heresy 3rd edition. That might make its way across to Imperialis.
Oh, the Arcne quad accelerated platform.
That's it. Yeah. Something like that would be really cool. Just mixing it up a little bit.
Nice.
Do you have any thoughts about Imperialis?
I would love to see Primarchs. I would love to see Primarchs. I think that'd be a great addition. Although it depends on what point of the heresy they're coming in. Obviously, like that beginning of the heresy era would be sort of great, but anything later than that, and it's just going to be Ferrus Manus sort of just laying there, not doing much. So I don't think it's going to be a very dynamic model. All right, so Warhammer: The Old World. Now we know it's Marauders, buddy. We know.
This has been our Chuckadee for a little while now. Us playing Warhammer: The Old World. It's definitely got its hooks in on us. So I dare say this and the Necromunda reveal are probably the most exciting things for us.
Yes, sir.
Look, I want to see some future casting, really. I know we're going to get Marauders, and I know we're getting that Arcane Journal, but I want them to give us a little bit of taste of the future and tell us what we expect in terms of Arcane Journals in the future. Not doesn't have to be that far along, but give us something. Do you know what? Actually, really, if I was to say, only one option to have, and that would be Dogs of War. And the old school style Dogs of War, like the Tillians and the Astilians and so forth.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really what I'd be banking on.
Two Arcane Journals, the new Marauder one and Dogs of War. And Dogs of War, you just turn around. This is where the Specialist Games Studio just says, all right, kids, make whatever you want. If you want Tillian pikemen or Astalian duelists or ogre man-eaters, you want... what's the Blood Knights? So, mercenary Blood Knights. Vampire Blood Knights. You just want to try blood from all around the world. You want light cavalry from Araby. You want, archers from Ind. You want renegade... Or the ability to pick and mix from all the Arcane Journals, renegade units, which is... And to make this army of just mishmash mercenary glory, hot dog. Like, I'm in. I'll buy 3 of that book. Just one for use with gaming, one for on the shelf, and just one for cuddling.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you say? Thank you for bringing me what I truly desire. Yeah, look, I'm all down for that idea of just take an army and just throw whatever you want into it. And, have your restrictions, have your point restrictions, have all that kind of stuff. But just give me the freedom to be silly with my miniature making. And not to say that they're not. Like, they're the current sort of pseudo mercenary army, pseudo renegades army in the latest Arcane Journal is really good. But I think it's still very human orientated. I would like to see, a Dogs of War army that can...
I mean,
yeah.
What are they called? Victims. I want to see
victims,
some victims.
Yeah. So can we put a sneaky goblin in there, a goblin unit? Can we put orcs in there? Can we put, as I say, vampire counts? Is there a lizardman unit available? Is there things that we don't normally see touched on in the old world? Will we get a mention of those? So, I'm really looking forward to the Imperialis and Old World and Necromunda releases. And the other 3, don't get me wrong, I'm super keen to look for that, especially the Horus Heresy. That's I've had a bit of a dabble at the rules, just having a read of them, and that's really getting its hooks into me. I really want to play a game of that hopefully in the not too distant future, but then that's just a case of getting more and more miniatures and building more and more stuff with them. So who knows, that might be another hobby pathway I take.
Well, so let's have a look here. We now have the final line being previewed there, being Necromunda. Now, you might have heard of Necromunda. It's a tabletop skirmish game originally released by Games Workshop in, I believe, 1995, with a re-release in 2017, and which culminated with 2 Australians coming together and starting a podcast where they basically yell at the internet for sometimes a working day at a time. Now, all right, what do you think is going to be previewed? Okay, firstly, what do you think is going to be previewed?
Oh.
And then what do you want to be previewed?
Right. What do I think is going to be previewed? I think we're going to see, just purely based on what we've seen with the Palanites, I think we're going to see some of the other factions get a little bit more love. We may see some more specialist things come out for some of the house gangs. Maybe. But that's what I think we'll probably get. To be honest with you, I don't expect us to see a great deal for Necromunda. It's just the way Necromunda goes. Like we get like a release of something and then, go forth and make merry with that. I don't think we're going to see like, a release for House Escher, a release for House Delaquo, a release for House Goliath, and then, over the next 6 months or so, you'll eventually get to pre-order these and so forth. I don't see that happening. So I think, I don't know, something in me tells me that we're going to see more, I don't know, maybe more stuff to do with the Melstrain. Maybe. That's where my brain's at. Yeah. What about yourself?
So that's what you think and that's what you expect?
No, what I would love...
That's what you want? Yeah.
No, what I would love is a deeper dive into Secundus, taking the other gang houses into Secundus itself. With
so the specialists...
The specialist boxes that that Van Sar got becoming
like
available to...
Yeah,
like Tech Hunters, but for other houses.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. I think we will see the sort of the new version of the Book of Ruin, with a big focus, obviously, on cults, with bringing the Chaos cults and hopefully Gene Stealer cults up to line with the House of Treatment.
All right. Yep.
So I'm thinking if we just get rules, and then we might get some sort of maybe like a cult specialist box, robed bodies, that sort of thing.
Right, with
so you could,
and it'd have like different icons in there, so like a Slaneshi icon, a Nurgle icon, sort of thing, and then like a couple, like kind of like how they did the Demon Prince box, where they're like, "Here's your Demon Prince," but when you want to change it to Nurgle or whatever, it doesn't just come with just a single head option. There's other bits on there that really make it look like a Nurgle component. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's
you
cool.
could effectively then use that almost as a conversion kit for gangers, etc., to help turn them into chaos. I know this is getting a little bit wish listy with what I expect. I expect the book, but from that, I would love that kit. But what I would really love to see is hopefully at the same time, the next expansion into the actual succession. I would love to see. I would love to see them story moving forward, but I can't see that happening until we sort of bring the other gangs up to date.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your bit here, but you're right about with the moving of the story, and I think it's less even about like, hey, what's the next bit, but like rounding off a few bits of the story that just kind of didn't feel like they got the proper end to their point. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, all good. And then from that, what I would love to see with that cult book, I want to see Karloth Valois, and it's Valois, it's not Valois. Like, I've done a backflip. I refuse to pronounce the things the way the other people tell me to. I think I would love to see Karloth Valois. I would love to see, I want to see some weird characters, and I would love to see, and it's rather ironic given the topic of today's conversation, I would love to see a re-release of Mad Donna Ulanti.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because very cool. We have great suspicion that it was her, that Lady Credo, and I believe the Dayglow Dragons gang from the House Van Sar broke out of the prison hive of Zolktra.
Yes.
And she was given a mission, and I believe that mission was to kill her parents. the current heads of House Ulanti. So that's my dream of dreams. That and Ratskins and a Brat Gang and Scabbies and Games Workshop. Give me the weird. But
yes. No, I'm with you.
Yeah,
But
these are just our predictions, and we will see what happens when the actual review is up. I will be ignoring my family on that Saturday morning. And
it's a Saturday morning for us, isn't it?
It's a Saturday morning, yeah. So...
Well, I normally take my boy swimming, so he's going to have to swim on his own that morning. Good luck, mate.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just going to give the kids a $20 note each and tell them to go to the supermarket. Like it's barely a 5K walk. They're almost 5 and 3. Like, come on, kids.
Yeah, you can sort it out.
You can sort it out. Well, my wife won't be here that morning, so I can do what I want.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Right. Okay.
This opening has gone mental.
Wow. We've indulged ourselves, we'll say.
True. But if you do enjoy the show and you are interested in supporting the podcast, please shoot over to patreon.com/the Underhive Lorekeepers podcast. We are 100% funded by the goodwill of our audience, though we do this for the love of our hobby. Each month we have a Patreon-exclusive episode, as well as competitions, polls on episodes, and other bonus content. If you're looking for another way to support us, get onto our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. A like, comment, and subscribe helps us grow and gets our particular brand of lore out into the world. All of the links are in the show notes, and don't forget to give us a 5-star review on your preferred podcast platform. And this is usually where Nathan jumps in with, and we have merch. It is also available on our link tree, and the links of which will be in the show notes.
Honestly, I was getting lost in thought about what we could see, and you've got my brain thinking about, okay, we can see all this Necromunda stuff. I just know it won't happen. But yes, we have merch, folks. And we love you.
He was genuinely, because we obviously do this when we could see each other on camera. He was genuinely just staring off into the stars like, I really want to see your Ramphis.
Yes, I do.
And
I want to know what those guys were. Who were those guys that came out of the ground, all in sexy armour? Who were they? Give us
the
them.
Aranthian armour. Yeah, give us them.
Give us them.
Give us the army. Yeah.
Yep.
And Ratskins and Scabbies. And you know what? Just for my boy Punk Taku, a Malal cult. Give us Malal cultists. Just draw a picture of one dead in a corner in one of the books. And you know what? I'll count it. He'll count it too. He'll just be like, boom, representation.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah.
But Nathan,
episode
what are we talking about this episode?
Well, it is the Upperhive Lorekeepers, is it not? And
it is.
As if my maths has not failed me, or math if we're in certain strange countries, has not failed me, then we have 2 of the noble houses left to go.
Yes. 2 of the sort of allied houses. Me and Nathan had this discussion before the episode. We obviously will still be leaving very notable noble houses such as Aranthus and Helmore. But until we have sort of more information in regards to that, there's not really enough to do an episode, even for us. That being said, we could be convinced to give it a shot. But we do have 2 noble houses left. Randlow and Ulanti. So, Nath, you can go first. And which of the 2 houses did you want to do?
I think I will go with the guys who are always out of ammunition.
Because their ammunition ran low?
Yes. I've used that before. It was genius before, and it's even better now that I've reused it. You're welcome. You are welcome. If the Makeda Gelt count Necromunda's coins, then House Ranlow guard its coffers. The great house long ago established itself as the hive world's bankers and creditors, the legions of scriveners responsible for the countless debts and loans that keep the planet's wealth firmly in the hands of Lord Helmore. It is a sacred position on a world as wealthy as Necromunda, and the Imperial House relies heavily upon Ranlo for both its assistance and its discretion. Understandably, this position means most of the other great houses despise House Ranlo, even more so than the general hatred they have reserved for each other. While the other noble houses must rely upon political manoeuvring or the efforts of clandestine agents to get their way, House Ranlo only needs to tighten its purse strings to exert almost unbearable pressure. The lords and ladies of House Ranlo are universally austere and serious, dressing in severe clothing of dark or drab colours, putting them in stark contrast with their peers. In conversation they are blunt and to the point, having little love for pomp and ceremony, making social functions in House Ranlo areas of the Spire dull and painful affairs for other nobles.
Apologising for interrupting you here. I didn't know my in-laws were ran low. Sorry, continue.
I was thinking, like, that is a juicy bit of information to work with. Dull. Yes. These traits might seem like a strange pairing with the rough and rebellious reputation of House Orlok. However, for the wealth of Necromunda to flow, goods must make it to Hive Primus. And when it comes to transportation, no one is as efficient as the House of Iron. The alliance between House Orlok and Ranlo has endured for centuries, the House of Iron moving the goods and the noble house paying the bills. So, what?
I don't know why. I've read this before and I've never considered it, but they almost seem... it's probably a weird way to say it. They almost seem Amish in their sort of approach to things. Their with their clothing being very severe, dark, drab, like very sort of nondescript. Their willingness to be sort of to the point. Although they seem almost like an aggressive Amish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, their barn raisings are just a torrent.
It's a vault raising.
They're bank raisings, yeah. It's another bank raising, and we're killing everybody in the surrounding suburbs.
200 rand low go into a dome. They build a bank vault. They put it down. They kill everyone in the dome, and then fill the vault. And it's just like, well done, well done. Oh, yeah.
Well done.
Excuse me, cousin. You seem rather energetic and almost jovial in your manner. My apologies. I will ensure that I am properly disciplined. Make it so. Make it so. They sort of do a wee little half bow and sort of walk away. Basically like Pennsylvania Dutch if they were also like space bankers.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, it's like raise the bank, don't over-celebrate, steal the money, control the people, control the noble houses, and really have a horrible distaste for House Catalyst. That's where I can see Ranlo having an issue with House Catalyst, just like, look at them, clowns, quite literal clowns. But I guess when we talk about powerful elements within Necromunda, you have, and we've mentioned it before with House Ty and House Co-Iron and Grime and Catalyst and so forth. But I think when we talked in terms of the guilds, the Makeda Gelt is definitely one of the strongest. And this house is somehow stronger than the Makeda Gelt. Do you know what I mean? In the sense that the Gelt go around and count the coins and make sure it's all there. But it's Ranlo that sign the contracts.
I get where you're coming from. I believe they are incredibly powerful. I would never say that any guild any noble house barring the Imperial House is stronger than the guilds, though, because houses will rise and fall. The guilds are eternal.
I think Ranlo...
I believe they would be empowered by the guilds. the guilds would allow them to be the representatives of the guild to the nobles.
No. I think Ranlo in this particular position, and it does say that they don't, to get their way. House Ranlo only need tighten the purse strings to exert almost unbearable pressure. So I think out of all the noble houses, they would have the utmost capacity to keep themselves in power, and also be able to make things happen. And when I say make things happen, I'm talking about obviously quite nefarious things of having gangs, having guilds annihilated and so forth. And, the guild may be eternal, but it may be eternally weakened because House Ranlo has, signed a deal with another gang house and said, we're not going to provide you any coin, we're not going to provide you any collateral or credit unless, let's take, for example, the Makeda Geld. Right, the Makeda Geld think they control the money here. We want you to raid them. Just non-stop harassment of them. And the gang house would simply say no to that until they're handed almost blank checks from Ranlo to say, we have enough resource money that we can give that to you. You can go outfit yourselves, go stomp face on the Makeda Geld until they understand that it's coming from us. Now, I know it's probably a bad example because it's, you're sort of cutting off your nose to spite your face a little bit there. But I think Ranlo would have that capacity and power to be able to turn the screw on anybody that they want, bar the Imperial House and probably, direct officers of the Administratum. So, including the Imperial Fists, Boo, and say the sisters and sister convents or whatever they're called, being able to, they wouldn't be able to necessarily turn the screw on them, I believe, but everybody else would have a weakness.
The Sisterhood, the Imperial Fist, that sort of thing, though, they're not likely to be borrowing money from the Imperial houses, the noble houses or the guilds, etc. Everyone else, rogue trader dynasties, other guilds, other nobles, of course. And I actually want to change something I said earlier. When I said the way of their dress, I almost compare them to the Amish. I'm actually having a think about it, and I've sort of looked at it. I'm thinking the clothing would be more sort of more comparable to sort of Orthodox. Here in Melbourne, we have a lot of Orthodox Jewish people where they're often wearing very almost formal suits, very conservative clothing in that respect. That's actually how I'm picturing their clothing, the way it says, because it doesn't matter where you are, seeing such almost fanatically cared for clothing, especially in a sea of colour like you'd have in the Hive. I'm genuinely picturing the nobles of House Ranlo almost dressed in that very it's severe clothing of quite dark colours, very comparable to the sort of traditional conservative clothing of Orthodox Jewish communities. I'm now genuinely blown away by the concept of you go to this Upperhive sort of like event and that, and there's the gowns and the armors and the off-world furs and that sort of stuff, and the Ranlo are all standing there and they're almost uniform in their appearance, and you can almost tell the difference between the groups because there'd be slightly different shades of blacks or browns or greys. It'd be like the sort of closer to the core house you are, your clothing is very black, and then sort of one step removed on maybe the head of the family's side, you'd be the brown. The other side, you'd be the grey. I'm just picturing it that way. Sorry. Going back to what you were saying.
No, it's a really cool imagery of them, I think, and something like one bit that you said there, how much of a step away that would be from regular Necromunda. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because forget, and I know you wanted to say something about what I said, but you've just got my brain thinking here. Like, Now, when you move away from the direct noble members of the family, then they're bodyguards, and then they're hangers-on, and all these other things that they would have. They would all be required to dress roughly the same. Do you know what I mean?
But you'd see the difference in the clothing.
Oh no, you would see the difference, but they would all be in this like almost matte type color scheme. You know, where they look dull and they look boring, but it's all the different bits of gubbins and techs and like digi-lasers and wearing servo skulls zipping around them and stuff like that. All these things that you do not possess without money, all around them. Like from a visual and aesthetic point of view, a member of House Goliath in their huge plates of armor with spikes and massive powered gauntlets and huge chain axes and everything, they would look, wow, holy moly, that's terrifying. But there is a subtle level of terrifying that Ranlo would give off, which is just, just from the look of the tech, you're like, I'm not going to pull a trigger against them because
the minimalist approach to it. It's you look at the Goliath, you look at the sort of second tier houses, where you're actually looking at them, they're showy for the sake of it. Whereas I think Ranlo, their distinctive clothing would almost unify them a little bit more as almost unnoticed community. Like you'd walk into one of those galas and that, and you'd be, okay, everyone's wearing the fluffy dresses and bright coloured stuff. It's like you sort of can't identify who's who, but your eyes would automatically be drawn to the Ranlo because they are this conservative island in this ocean of colour. And it to me, it almost makes them seem more legitimate. And going into, and we'll touch on sort of their delegation and that, but especially given the type of industry they're having there, which is money, it is the funds that feed everything. I don't view them as much as necessarily a noble house. I'm almost seeing them as a crime family given legitimacy, because by the way they're dressing, by the way they're saying, we are refining ourselves back to this core identity where at all times we are ready to do business. We are ready to further the interests of the house. Don't get me wrong, you talk back or you say something I don't like, I will have my man stab you multiple times and you won't die. You'll feel each and every one of them. But you know what? We will still look better than everyone else in that respect. Yeah. I'm picturing them almost as a mix of, that Orthodox Jewish appearance there, but almost mixed with the Yakuza. Like, the that's Asian better. Triads.
That's better because I've been watching Godfather of Harlem recently, right? And the Italian organised crime in that are just like outwardly they look like they probably look the part, but from behind the scenes it's sort of like it's a bit ramshackly. But from like when you describe it as Yakuza, I'm totally with that. There would be an element of when we enter a room, there are certain individuals who speak. If you're not one of that cadre or those people, and you open your mouth, actually, there's a great moment in what's it called? Shogun. Have you ever seen the show Shogun?
No.
Okay, so no spoilers.
I've seen The Last Samurai. Is it similar?
No, it's not. But in Shogun, one of the first episodes, one of the retainers of one of the samurai lords speaks when he shouldn't have spoken, and it is such a dishonor and such a disrespect that he surrenders his own life, but also the life of his child to end his family line. Do you know what I mean? So that's how grave it was to speak in the presence of, and I think it was the emperor at the time. So in this particular scenario, the way that I envisaged for Ranlo, it would be if you are speaking when you shouldn't be speaking, or if you are saying things that you shouldn't be saying, you will endanger the house. And if you endanger the house, or if you, do you know what? I really don't see Ranlo ever being in danger. I think it would be if you provide our peers, our enemies, our adversaries, or whoever is not us with leverage to use against us, then you'll be punished. Because I can't see them being out of power. Not with the way that they control the coin, but it's how much more did you give them that we didn't need to give away. Do you know what I mean? And I'm as I'm visualizing this gang, I'm starting to think of, like, you know, the scales, the balancing scales, and everything would be measured in those elements. You know, so even you think of one of their dinner parties or their you know, what do they say? One of their social functions. And everything would be
very
like
drab, very not exciting social functions.
But those would be planned in a way that's saying we're spending X amount of coin, and you know, you can imagine somebody from House Grime bringing their military buddy who just happened to drop onto planet, and they're like, no, he's not on the card to come, so he can wait outside. He can wait out on the street, but he's not entering the party because the party has been perfectly balanced for X amount of candidates to X amount of food to X amount of cost. You know, so there would be no, you know, variations in the budget per se to say, oh, we'll open another case of something or lay out another platter of something or go down and find more resource of whatever they need to brighten up this party. No, this social event has this, only this, and at this time, everybody boots off. You know, there wouldn't be these raucous affairs. They would almost
It is 8:30. Everyone can now leave.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not the can is
anyone remaining after 15 minutes will be shot.
Yeah, there you go. I was about to say the can is not like, well, you can leave, you can stay. It'll just be like, you have a window in which to gather your stuff and then boot off, you know. So, yeah, I see them, the Yakuza aesthetic of them, I think is very cool. There's probably a murky underbelly to them, but there's not like, it would never be anything that anybody would ever know, including the House of, like, House Delarc or House Delacroix would never actually probably be able to find that out. And if they do, they would use that as a form of leverage to say, well, just open up the purse strings a little bit, or preferably close them for this particular house or this particular operation that's going on. Because I think, and I'm rambling on a bit here, so please interject whenever, but the importance of what they do is not necessarily about how much money they can give to or how much money they can hold back from, but it's operations and projects and things that are going on. Like, they can make an operation fail by not having enough financial resources available for it. So if the Palinites are on the surge to hunt down suspected criminals and so forth, if they have angered House Ranlo, they can just be like, unless House Helmore come kicking down the door, you're going to have a limited budget and limited capacity with what you can do. So you can go hunt down those corpse grinders if you want to, but you're going to run out of ammo, you're going to run out of men, you're going to run out of resources, you're going to run out of credits to pay people off. So how do you want to do it, considering we don't want you to go ahead with this operation?
I agree with everything, except I think what you're saying doesn't have enough focus on Ranlo improving their own lot. I think they would definitely be using a lot of this as they're effectively, because like I said, I'm turning them into that almost crime family idea where because of the contracts, because of their ability to almost act as enforcers for the Mercator Gelt is probably the wrong way, but I think that's almost what they would be. They would be saying to the Mercator Gelt, well, the Mercator Gelt will come to them and say, hey, the house Goreshed owes us X number of credits from this contract. They used this property as leverage for it. We need you to seize the property. You take it over for yourself. You pay us that amount of money, and then you do with it as you will. So Ranlow's agents would go into that Goreshed territory, snatch up that property that Goreshed have put up for sort of leverage, but also be saying to them, and we're also keeping everything on it. And if it just happens to be that Goreshed are producing bolters on that property, they've also now got a whole mess of bolters which they can use through their connections to filter out to marketplaces or other houses to use towards their tithe. But they're making that markup from it. In my mind, they're definitely that Yakuza-style crime family setup where that's how they're doing it. But
you're right though.
They would view this as an investment as opposed to simply a takeover. Because they know they're paying for that property to the Mercator Gelt because they're purchasing it against the loan that the Mercator put against that house. So they're making that investment, and they're going to know that investment has to pay off at the end.
Yeah. No, I like that, and you are right. I wasn't looking at them as like, how do they prosper themselves or how do they further themselves, because I see them as having almost like an unending stream of wealth. But you're right, they wouldn't necessarily have that. They would have to look out and have to secure their own interests as well. So making sure that gangs are providing them with resources rather than just promises or actions or behaviours would be massively important for them as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So getting into an alliance with House Ranlow does have some benefits. Firstly, any gang can obviously get into the alliance with Ranlow, but it is a strong alliance with House Orlok. Now, I love this because being the money house, this is where their sort of special rules come into play. House Ranlow always looks to balance the books and ensure the flow of credits to their coffers and those of their allies remain steady. During the collect income step of the post-battle sequence, a gang allied with House Ranlow gains an additional 2d6 times 10 credits if their opponent earned more credits than they did from the scenario. You can almost picture it's Ranlow going, okay, listen, I know, we know from our sources that gang that you've just had conflict with made a little bit more money than you. Here's some coins, little fella. Here you go. The max you can get, 120 credits. The Ranlow noble literally scrapes that off the sole of their boot.
Exactly. And just
he's lighting a cigar with a 100 or a 500 cred note, and is throwing you your pitiful 120 creds in coins. But the drawback being, and this is an interesting one, House Ranlow auditors are pedants when it comes to keeping track of expenditures, and a gang can find itself forced to keep close eye on its stash. If the gang stash has fewer than 50 creds in it at the end of the post-battle sequence, then they must test the alliance. They will literally get angry if you're too poor to hang out with them.
Yeah, but no. See, I see that as them going, you're not good with money. You're not a good investment with us. You have
poor financial structure.
Yeah, you don't, and your mentality is not the same as us. So therefore, we're not going to do any deals with you. You may be able to convince us, but at the moment, we want to make sure that whatever we put into you is returned in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I really like that. But they have a second drawback. This is the price of business. The noble houses always get their cut. When collecting a random amount of income from territories, rackets, or similar sources, if a 6 is rolled on a dice, then that dice is discarded and does not generate any credits. So, if you do real well and hit the old Maximus, Ranlow gets it. So that's either, if it's D10, D6 times 10, like that could be up to 60 credits that they're just going, yep, ours.
I think that's great. I think that's fantastic.
See, crime family. That's what I'm saying. Like, they've got their guys in there and they're just skimming off every transaction you do. Kind of like banks do when they round off interest. So if you generate more interest and if they can't make complete dollars from it, they round that down to the nearest dollar and they keep that section there. That's you rolling that 6. Sneaky bloody Ranlow. But one benefit to having a noble house as an ally is obviously the sort of group that comes out with them. And in the case of Ranlow, that is a House Ranlow auditing conclave. Now, to ensure their investments are yielding the expected returns, House Ranlow may decide to dispatch an auditing conclave. These severe and pitiless individuals are universally feared throughout the hives. Many clan lords who wouldn't flinch from facing a swarm of ripperjacks or a slavering fearcat pale at the thought of meeting a Ranlow auditor. This terror is well founded, as the auditor can inflict terrible and lasting wounds upon a settlement, organisation or gang, levying crippling taxes upon them, or ensuring their access to the merchant guild and its goods and services suddenly disappears. Auditing conclaves like to get a first-hand look at a situation and do not shy away from combat like many other nobles. Of course, dead men cannot pay their debts, so auditors favour suppression and non-lethal weapons and are very adept at their use. Should the auditor be seriously threatened, their bodyguard, the Gelt Scriveners, will step in. These are talented, combat-hardened individuals who have chosen to pay their debts to House Ranlow through service and know that should their master die, they will never be free of their obligations to the Great House, and so fight all the harder to protect them as the result. I changed my mind. They're not a noble house / crime family. They're a noble house / crime family / tax department.
Yeah, which is a crime family, really.
Which is a crime family just run by the government.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy crap. So they're literally that conservative community that is built around their ability to run as a crime family, but who also manage to have massive influence with the ability for traders to even visit your settlement, or who also say, hey, Billy, you owe us a bunch of money. You're actually also very handy with a gun. So to pay off your debt, we're going to almost enslave you. Prisoner with job you. Roman gladiator style, like debtor's prison, where you work off your debt by protecting our enforcers, our soldiers.
I see that aspect of it I really, really love, because the whole drab looking guards that I was talking about before now is completely mixed up with having, you could have a small, maybe 2 or 3 man team that is around the auditor that has been supplied by the house, and then the rest of it is just no good nicks who have got turned out pockets, who are just, I got no money, but I can kill. I can kill on command. You give me enough ammo and I will sort this situation out for you. And I could see them having perhaps some sort of branding on them. Not necessarily burnt into them, but something like, they have to wear something over their right shoulder, or they have a certain type of badge or something that represents them as part of House Ranlow now. And they become part of this auditing team, this collecting team, where they're able to go, okay, this is, you have the authority to go and kick down a door and drag X, Y, and Z citizens out onto the street so that the auditor may meet them. So it's not necessarily them all standing around behind the auditor going, hey, we can't wait to start busting some skulls. I see them as like teams that go in and just go grab the individuals who are needing to be reviewed, who are needing to be audited, and then bringing them to the auditor. You know what I mean? So it's not like because sometimes you get audited, you knock on the door, you can amend things, fix things, hide things. This is grab them, drag them out, no reference to who they are, and then come back later with the auditor and the person and say, okay, now we're going to ransack your place for all the monies that you're holding out on us.
I'm picturing almost like what are they called in like aggressive divorces for high profile forensic accountants.
Yes.
So I'm picturing the auditors are almost forensic accountants where they'll go in and they'll basically say to these settlements and trading houses and even minor like merchant guild members and be like, okay, show me your books, and they're going through it, and I'm picturing them with almost what was his name? In The Empire Strikes Back on Bespin Cloud City, Lando Calrissian's sidekick had like the computer connected to the side of his brain.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name, but
I don't know his name either. I was going to say Forlom, but he was a bounty hunter. But this isn't our Star Wars podcast. But I'm picturing him like this auditor going in, and he's running over the books, and it's literally calculating everything in there for him, and he's just sitting there going, "Yep. Well, looking at this, I can see you have 11 credits missing from this line, which, once you carry that, including interest, becomes 17 credits. But you also have," and he's running it all down, and he goes, "You've undercalculated your returns by approximately 114 credits," and going over the last 11 cycles, and they're just like, "What?" And he's breaking down everything, like he's going through interest and the breakdown, and he goes, "And as such, you owe us like X number of credits in compensation."
Yeah.
But on top of that, we're fining you for incorrectly reporting what you've actually been given, because that's caused us to incorrectly report to the noble house, blah, blah, blah. As such, you owe us, some astronomical new number. And you can either pay it, or we can inform our allies at the Merchant Guild that they're to not come to this settlement for X number of cycles. What would you prefer? And all of a sudden, that massive fine, because we have to pay that to the Imperial House. That doesn't get to the Imperial House.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it. It goes into the coffers of House Ranlow. And I
with
also
an
love the
IOU,
fact...
with an IOU to the Imperial House, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like...
Or 10% of it gets there.
Yeah, so the way you describe this auditor, it is a weapon. You know what I mean? It is, as you say, aggressively used, and it is something that maybe another noble house says, can you turn the screw on this particular spire? Or, the Gothrel's Needle's really getting up my nose, send in your forensic auditors, and they would have this authority to go in, because you do not mess with House Ranlow's auditors. You do, they would be considered at the same level as the Mercator Geld. You don't mess with the Mercator Geld. These are the merchants of the coin. Don't stuff with them, but you don't mess with... You may be able to mess around with House Ranlow, but you don't mess around with their auditors, because if they're sending auditors in, they're looking for every little chink in the armour. They're looking for every little hole that could be, should be, and will be exploited. So don't stuff them around. Give them everything they want. Make their life as easy as possible, because the repercussions of not doing that are tenfold worse. So as a tool to be utilised against an opponent, I think they would be absolutely brilliant.
But it's also, you can imagine the fear going in there, because you know what, you can fight your way out of gangs, is sort of gang war, or you can fight your way out of, getting transport jacked up or ambushed. You can get away with it. You cannot hide numbers from ran low, because they are literally calculating it as they go.
Yeah.
And they control all of it. They control your access to the very supplies your settlement needs to continue to exist. I love the fact that we've turned them from just this sort of somewhat conservative nobles to like Yakuza taxmen.
But like when you're saying that, like you may have enough credits, like actual physical credits hidden away in a mattress somewhere, but as you say, the settlement, the clan, can't live on those limited credits alone. They need the support and the infrastructure that Ranlow supply, and if they don't have that, then you may survive for X period of time, but you're guaranteed to die out. You're guaranteed to have the mass population turn on whoever's governing that outpost or that settlement. They will turn on them and say, Ranlow, have whatever you want. We've deposed the rulers that we have had of this settlement. Take whatever you want, do whatever you will. We're happy to take you as our overlords, or whichever puppet you're going to put in place.
But so the Ranlow Auditing Conclave has some great little special rules there. The first being always more coin. An Auditing Conclave adds 2d6 times 10 credits to the reward section of any scenario they take part in. These credits are awarded to the gang they are allied with, regardless of the outcome of the scenario. So whether you win or lose, you're going to get an extra 2d6 times 10 credits. The obvious downside there being if you get that and you end up getting more credits than your opponent, you no longer get the d6 times 10 credits from the house. But at the end of the day, House Ranlow, they give you this pittance because they're going to take any sixes you roll later on. Now,
exactly.
Let's have a look here. Where is it? They will obviously leave the battlefield if they are seriously injured, and they don't really care about the rest of your gang otherwise. But once again, the here to help rule says that no matter what, they are just added to the fight. So they can definitely help you throw some extra numbers your way, even if it takes it above the number of fighters that are allowed in the scenario. But it's the equipment that they have that, in my opinion, really feeds in there. So the Auditing Conclave comes with an Auditor and a Gelt Scrivener, with the Auditor having a web pistol and a fighting knife and mesh armor. So not great, but that being said, shoot someone with a web pistol and then you can just go over there and stomp them to death if you want to. But the Gelt Scrivener is where the equipment just goes, it's dialed up to 11. The Gelt Scrivener is armed with a master-crafted long rifle, a bolt pistol, and a power sword. If you're rocking up with this kind of gear, and by the way, you've got a weapon skill of 4 and a ballistic skill of 3, where did you go wrong in life that you owed these absolute psychopaths money?
Well, see, I could see that being something they would manufacture as well. They would just go, all right,
yes.
we need a bodyguard for our particular auditor, so we're going to have this particular scrivener suddenly be very much out of pocket. All the credit cards dry up. All the bank notes are running dry.
Get them into a card game or get them into a casino, and make sure that we make sure they lose a couple of rounds. Have one of our guys close, saying that he'll loan him the money. I'll loan you the money. I know who you are. You're a good bet. Oh no, this fixed game, you lost it again. Well, I kind of need that money back, champ. Oh, you didn't know me? I'm Billy Ranlow. Ranlow. You've heard of my family. Yeah. I've got a way you can work off that debt, chieftain.
Yeah. That's exactly how it would play out. Something along those lines where, and what I mentioned earlier, it's leverage. They have the leverage against the person.
Yeah.
They just go, okay, we've got you now. And now you owe us. And then after your first engagement, you have no money left to buy ammunition. Oh, okay, we'll buy the ammo off us, obviously.
We'll get you some ammo, mate. Don't be silly.
Yeah. So the actual auditor is just going, here's another string of credit for you. Here's another string of credit for you. Here's another string of credit for you, just to pay for the small amount of things. And so that Geld Scrivener becomes more and more indebted to them. And I'm sure I have a vibe that House Ranlow would eventually allow them to pay it off, but it would be at their discretion and when they're no longer needing that particular candidate. So suddenly, their bank accounts open up and there's all this money there and they're like, oh, I can pay you all off. Oh, can you now? Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Hopefully we never meet you again, blah, blah, blah. The reality being is we don't need you anymore. All the auditing work has been done. See you later. Get away from me, you filthy, filthy commoner. Yeah, right.
So I really like that sort of idea there, but there's a quote here that comes from the book of the House of Iron book that leads us into a couple of different points there. So this quote here: "House gangs are like any other mark in my ledger, just another number that either adds to or subtracts from the wealth and glory of House Ranlow. If it is the former, then it gets to stay. If it is the latter, well, that is what house-paid Venator hit squads are for." And that is Master Auditor Tamino Wren of the She Counting House of House Ranlow. So,
right.
I think we've really done well in sort of turning them almost into Yakuza crime family tax auditors, because it's literally like the big thing is, dead men don't pay their debts, but if it gets to a point where maybe they're starting to cost us money, we have our own Venator families that can do that. And in fact, one of those was actually mentioned as an executioner family in the Book of Peril. And this particular family, called the Wu Kang, are a Venator bounty hunting gang active on Necromunda, and they are descended from the Executioner family's bloodline established by Wu the Fist, who was actually a member of House Ranlow. Now, each member of the Wu Kang is a master of close combat who take great pride in their ability to inflict death and also adding fresh kill markings to their bodies. And their bodies are actually covered in exotic coiling tattoos. And I think I did it a little bit sort of accidentally, but very similar to, I imagine, the sort of the dragon and serpent tattoo motifs of some Asian sort of crime groups, the triads, the Yakuza, that sort of thing. Like you see some photos of some really beautiful like Korean crime family tattoos where they are the swirling like serpents and dragons and that as well. And especially the naming, like Wu Kang it's basically Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat.
From Mortal Kombat, Quarter Wombats,
Caudal wombats. Just people throwing gun leaves at each other. But I think it's very cool that it's mentioned that we have house paid Venator hit squads, and I can imagine those executioner families who have originated from House Ranlow turning around and going, "That's fine. Like we take any work no matter what, but when the house comes calling, we know where we're going."
Absolutely. I'm so happy you read that as well, because that further exemplifies what we've sort of created for House Ranlow, is that us personally probably won't go out there and do the killing, but our reach and our power.
Our hands dirty with that.
Yeah, exactly. That costs too much money, just the dry cleaning alone. But But we will absolutely utilize everything in our arsenal to ensure that we have some of the best killers with us at all times.
Yes.
And these are, like, we're talking Venator gangs, fully outkitted. We're talking hired killers and gunners who are more than happy to start hoeing down on the trigger as soon as they can, just to ensure that they are, no longer aligned with whatever debt or whatever obligation they owe to the house. So for me, this just says this house, the power and the influence is just even greater because they don't need to get themselves dirty. They don't need to get themselves involved. There's always going to be a buffer between them and the killing. So you may be, yes, it was the reason why these Venators were here was because there was an auditor there. But the auditor never sanctioned the killing. The auditor never wanted people dead. They were just here auditing. So if you've got a bone to pick, go pick it with that particular clan or that particular gang. But don't come, darken our doorstep with your accusations. Otherwise, we will have you killed.
Yep. Yep. Love it.
Yeah, I can see them as being total bar stewards.
Yeah. Look. Total see you next Tuesdays. So
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about the tax department. Randlow seemed like an alright group of guys and gals. So, alright. What's your gang idea?
What's your gang idea?
House Randlow?
I have about 700, so I want to hear your one first so I don't steal your one.
I'm trying to figure out how I can get this many, conservative suits in Warhammer, the Warhammer scale. I would genuinely have it almost... I would be leaning more towards the Venator gang hit squad, where it's the lower... And this is a gang idea I've had 16 times with different episodes. The cousins and the like who are almost like franchising out their banking opportunities. So they're moving out into a settlement to set up a subsidiary branch of their bank. And you'd have them.
Absolutely.
You'd have the leader, the sort of central team in the suits that have the very severe haircuts. They'd look very proper. Whereas the ones they're getting their fingers into in the settlements, they're gonna look very rough. So hired goons, basically. You put a professional wrestler in a suit that's just 2 sizes too small for them. And it's just muscles bulging in that. But it's something you said where the digital weapons would be very well done. You'd have the servo skull. I'm imagining spraying perfume around the lead-up because I don't want to smell all of these pores. Then if push comes to shove, when it sprays the perfume, it can ignite it and set. It almost creates like a flamethrower.
I think
it's
that would be fun. A promethium-based perfume.
Yeah, but I can imagine you would have the hirelings, the hired muscle, almost be very flashy, almost like the House Randlow section of the gang have thrown a little bit of money and being like, well, hey, you can go buy yourself something nice. I'll loan you the money, of course. Don't even worry about it. And then they realise that they're in debt. This gang would be not willing to be there, but they know they can't leave.
Mm-hmm. I like that. But they are doled up.
Very hesitantly part of the crew.
But they're all doled up to be very much part of House Randlow. Looking crisp, ready to rock and roll. Yeah, I really like that concept. My favourite part of the gang would have to be the leader who is just overdone. But you almost want a leader that is not very good at combat. I would almost have the leader to have a proxy of a robot or something that accompanies him, and so that would represent the stats.
Almost like a guard servitor.
A guard servitor, So
do almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Not a murder cyborg, but like a gladiator, like a pit fighter.
Yeah,
I'm
but a
imagining
robot version.
that. Yeah. Oh no, I'd make it a pit fighter, like a
Oh,
fully
right, straight up, yeah.
straight
Okay.
up pit fighter that they've basically purchased as
Yeah.
this bodyguard for themselves while they're going out to this settlement, because you've got the hired goons and it's just like that scene from The Simpsons. Who is it? Hired goons. Hired goons. And they kick open the door. The goons walk in. They push everything up, push everyone off the couch, put down a napkin, and then the boss walks in with his robot and sits down, and he's sitting on the napkin. He's looking around and he's like, so this is where the poor live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
No, okay. Sorry, I interrupted you. Yes.
No. You've taken it exactly the way I thought about it. So you'd have a pit fighter or robot type-esque bodyguard who, in game terms, you would use as your proxy for your leader. So you would, like if you go to charge a leader, you just simply take the model out of the way, put down the pit fighter, and that represents the stats of that particular individual. So it's just a way of showing that these bankers and these, forensic lawyers don't do any of that silly stuff. They only do the behind the scenes stuff.
But you'd also need a guy carrying around like ledgers and like documents and that, being like, these, like showing all the numbers you'd reported. You make them the champion and make them the savvy, give them the skill about savvy trader. So that would be the one you'd send to the marketplace to buy your gear.
Yeah.
Because they'd be walking around and being like, well, actually, because if I look at this and it'd bring down it'd lift your ability to get better equipment, because you'd have the connections, you'd know what merchants were selling them what. Yeah, okay, cool.
And
I like that.
You'd know the price of a las gun and what you should be paying. You know what I mean? So it's like, a kilo of corpse starch, I know how much that's worth. Don't you try and scam me on it. Yeah. No, like, it's really cool gang ideas. I had something similar in mind, but I was thinking more something along the lines of taking the idea of that, the Ranlo auditor, and just pushing it a little bit further. So not necessarily this is the point where they're going off and doing the auditing, but this is the point where they're going off and recruiting the teams that they need to help with the next auditing operation. So these would be low-level Ranlo auditors who their job, they're sort of in training in a way. Their job is to go find the leverage on bounty hunters and gangs and hired guns and venators and so forth, and say, how do we make you a recruitable source for us? So what is it that you own? What is it that you know? So these particular aspects, they're not like, they're not just hiding behind books. They actually need to be a bit savvy on the streets. So they'd be packing weapons. They'd know how to use them. It's almost like, these are the scouts to the Space Marines in a way. So these are the scout versions of auditors. They get down and dirty. They go find things that they shouldn't be finding. They go bend the knee of gangers and underhivers and so forth to be part of their crews. And so they would go off and they would use their capacity and their influence to leverage like Hive Scum and all these other things. So their group wouldn't be as flashy, but what they then use that team to then go after more elite groups for their primary auditor, for the forensic auditor to be attached to. So these are more like your grunt auditors, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. They're the ones organising the like the casinos to purposely screw over those proper hired guns, or they're the ones going in and maybe waylaying the merchant caravans as they're going into settlements and saying, I hear you've got a shipment of las guns for old Roscoe. Like, well, yeah, he's ordered them. It's just, okay, well, we're going to buy those now. Oh, but no, we've got them for Roscoe. Yes, we understand that we're going to purchase those from you now. And the merchant, that Gilder knows, okay, this is ran low, which means that's Makeda Geld. Excellent, and here's the cost. Yep, and they end up screwing the Gilder on the cost anyway. And they say, yep, go for it. So then they get into the settlement, and the Auditor Enclave shows up and says, excellent, Roscoe, and do you have those last weapons we'd paid you for? Well, no, the merchant was supposed to bring them, but apparently someone purchased them. Okay, so you don't have them. We've paid you already. We're going to need that money back. Oh, I'll get it for you. But I can't give it to you now. Like, I gave it to the merchant. So you owe us money.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
We
Exactly.
have a few bands coming through here that they're going to need some equipment from you when they require it. And they're almost causing the issues to screw people over to get the money that they actually don't even need the money. They just need the people in position, so they have the muscle in that settlement. Damn it, that is awesome. I really like that.
So it's the network setting up, and it comes back to that word I kept using with Ranlo, which is the leverage. It's setting up the leverage so that when the forensic auditor goes in there, when the champion of auditors goes in there, he simply gets told, these are your people, go here, do this, collect from here, collect from there, collect from here, and your gang will be, your cluster of bodyguards will be fully outfitted. You don't need to even raise one weapon if you don't want to. And so, because the auditor would be spending most of their time doing the difficult work of auditing the situation, they don't have time to do all this donkey work that needs to get done. And so when they send in the cadet auditors, they're doing the donkey work, and the ones who prove themselves eventually get pushed up into that forensic auditor level, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, that's sick. So they go from just a casual, life screwer to proper forensic account. They remind me of almost, I believe it's a movie called The Accountant starring Shia LaBeouf. Or he's like a side character. They basically are they collect money for a drug cartel. It's actually a fantastic movie. Shia LaBeouf is fantastic in that movie.
Are you talking about the one with... he was married to Jennifer Lopez. What's his name? Good friends with Matt Damon. Can't think of his name. Come on, memory.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. That's it. Yeah. The movie The Accountant with Ben Affleck.
Have I mixed up my... Okay, hold on. Shia LaBeouf. The Tax Collector is the movie I'm thinking of.
Oh, no,
The Accountant is starring Ben Affleck. Yes, you're 100% correct.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of a movie called The Tax Collector.
Yeah. I've never
Shia
seen
LaBeouf
that.
plays a character called Creeper. They are they're tax collectors, literally collecting taxes from smaller crime groups for this crime lord who works for a cartel.
Similar process to what I would be saying. They go and recruit the scummers, so that the scummers give them the leverage to go then push, the suppliers of, bigger weapons and bigger facilities, and go maybe put some go twist the screw on a Venezuela gang. You can't do that with a cadet auditor. You need somebody with a bit of backing, and that might be 10 or 15 bodies behind them, where the Venezuelans go, we don't want this fight, all we're going to do is pay a debt here, let's not bother.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the two characters, the two actors, Bobby Soto and Shia LaBeouf. Bobby Soto is the tax collector. He's the level-headed, the one who sort of is in charge, because he's the one basically doing the business. Whereas Shia LaBeouf's Creeper, he's just straight up brutal. He's yep, cool. All right, negotiations have gone down. Sweet. Pulls out a machete and starts, cutting off toes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
Yep.
that's the sort of character he is, and that's how I pictured that sort of move there, where
Yep.
you'd be moving from that one there, and then as with the two of you do well, you move up to the next level, where you're not just dealing with gangs, you're dealing with settlements. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
I really
Perfect.
like that.
Yep.
Yes. I like yours better than mine. Yeah, because
yours,
I now want to watch The Taxman starring Shia LaBeouf. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Righto. We've spent quite a bit of... actually, I want to clarify something as well. I will change my statement about them running out of ammunition. I don't think it will ever be a possibility, considering how much we know about them now. It's just not possible.
Yeah. There's two things they don't run low on: money and bullets.
Yeah, exactly. So I stand corrected, folks. So let us move on to our next one. It's actually not just our next one. It's our last one of the noble houses, I think.
Yeah, it's of the noble houses. It's the last one. Yeah. Wait, is this going to be the second series we finish in like 2 weeks?
Yay! Look at us go.
Yay! We're getting somewhere.
Yeah. We're ticking boxes, folks. We're ticking boxes. Yeah, for those who don't know, like we've opened up a few different sort of series that we want to... I think we just want to close them off just because, we can put a line under it and be like, cool, that's done. Now we can work on something more and new.
Because
and
we're
exciting.
sick of talking about them. We want to talk
That's
about
not at all
how
what's
cool
happening.
Malal is.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's 6-second episode we're going to do. Awesome. Can't wait to do it.
It'll be shorter than the April Fool's episode.
Yeah.
No, yes, it is our last noble house. And weirdly enough, it's the noble house we've probably talked the most about already without realising. It's House Ulanti. And we talked about this noble house a massive amount during our Escher episode, like 2.5 years ago. Was it 2.5 years?
2.5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, maybe a little under. A little under just 2.5 years, yeah.
Like 2 years.
Wow.
A long
Just
time
over
ago.
2. A long time
Yeah.
ago in a galaxy far, far away, yes.
So, House Ulanti is among the oldest of all the great houses, their history intertwined with that of House Escher itself. Though many centuries separate the nobles of Ulanti from the rulers of Escher, the two remain closely linked in countless ways. Much of the Ulanti interests on Necromunda are tied to the production of chems and their sale to the wider Imperium. Each cycle, the Great House draws huge revenues from the world's drug trade, making the percentage taken by the Merchant Guild, the Narco Lords, and even House Escher, who produce the chems, seem insignificant by comparison. Ulanti, like all noble houses, has its hands in many other industries, allowing clan houses and Merchant Guild families to use its factories and territories in exchange for a hefty slice of their output. Several hives are owned outright by the Great House, such as the Skygalt Tower on the edge of the World Sump, or Hive Valkyria in the highest reaches of the spoil. The Great House even owns the Necromunda moon of Juggerata, where its nobles go on safari, hunting Xenos beasts brought in especially for this purpose. All this wealth and privilege has, over the centuries, saturated House Ulanti with a level of decadence considered extreme, even by the standards of the Necromunda nobility. Lords and ladies of the house live in ridiculous luxury. Their levels within the spire are often transformed into fairy tale lands, paradise realms, or fantastic menageries filled with every kind of exotic creature imaginable. The Ulanti also dine upon the rarest food and drink of the galaxy. From hydroclonic cocktails created with the refined alcoaqua of 5 different death worlds, to albino gyrinx flesh that can only be harvested 1 day a year and must be eaten in natural sunlight, lest it turn into a deadly poison. With all this decadence, it might be assumed that the Ulanti themselves are useless wastrels, with little to personally offer the world of Necromunda. And for the most part, such an assumption would be right. However, there remain within the noble house individuals of great power and vision who see to its survival. These men and women are often skilled warriors or gifted leaders, but their true power comes from House Ulanti's greatest weapon, its near limitless wealth. So this here is what I like to personally call, depending on my mood and what sort of extended universe I'm partaking in at the time, either the Tony Stark effect or the Bruce Wayne effect, where their superpower is money.
Okay, I was wondering where you were going with that. Yes.
Yeah, House Ulanti, we could not have accidentally partnered a better, opposite to House Ranlow. House Ranlow control the money and are super modest and, very uniform and very refined in their visual factor. Whereas House Ulanti is just so we are dressed in ball gowns with fairy lights that are actually made of the unborn souls of children, and instead of spending money, we're just melting it into bricks and throwing it at the homeless.
That's our bi-weekly event.
Bi-weekly event.
Yeah.
And we're all enormous drug dealers.
Yeah.
Where do we start with this?
Okay, I was letting you have your spiel about it because I want to hear what you had to say. This, to me, is the classic us versus them scenario. So, where the majority of Necromunda is the have-nots, these are the haves, have a bit more, have actually all of it. Even probably more so than what even House Helmore has in terms of the opulence, in terms of...
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah. They are the definition of what every guardsman who is slugging around in the trenches hates, what every space marine who goes off to fight on some remote part of the world, remote part of the galaxy, only come back to a world and see these things that he has protected and saved. These are what the rot of the Imperium look like, but in the most glorious way. They understand that their power is attached to how they are perceived, not just about how much power they have. Where you have somebody like Ranlow, who, what you were saying, it doesn't look like we have power, and doesn't need to look like we have power, but we have a ridiculous amount. Whereas House Ulanti is, we have so much power, and you can see it. As a matter of fact, see that little speck up in the sky there? Oh, no, you don't get to see the sky. But we own a moon. We own a moon. Just to let you know, just to fill you in on that one.
I'm convinced, reading somewhere... No, it's clan houses who can't own anything off-world, isn't it? The noble houses obviously can. It's the clan houses who can't own anything off-world. Okay, so ignore what I was going to say then. In my mind, when you say the haves and the have-nots, so the... what was her name? Let them eat cake. What was... Marie Antoinette.
Yes.
I picture the Ulanti as Marie Antoinette, but dialed up to 11. Like that French nobility right before the revolution, when, the French initiated what we now call, justice to the rich, mainly billionaires. But, that's neither here nor there. But I picture them in, the world around them is burning, and they're at a dance, and they have the banquet tables, and it's that so they're back in the days of the Roman Empire. They had a room where you could go, you'd eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then you'd go to this room and you'd vomit, and you'd empty yourself so you could. I think it's a
Pretty sure it's called a
vomitorium. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they would then go back inside and eat more, and I picture the Ulanti doing things like that, because in their mind it's like, well, we have 100 dishes. Each dish is made of ingredients so rare that outside of this event, they can literally never be made again. And I'm going to have some of all 100 of them.
Yes, exactly. That would be the exact kind of decadence that they would just, and for them that would just be, it may be
perfect.
Yeah, so it may be just like a special event, but it's also, it's going to sound a little bit weird what I'm saying here, but it's also common for them to have so many like special events. It's like, okay, well, we're having this 100 course meal where this food will never be sampled or used again. Oh, okay, well, so, and these kinds of events that they would be hosting would be, like, as I say, they'd be rare in what they're hosting about or the theme or whatever, but it would be common for them to have, fortnightly events that are just beyond the pale of what anybody else could even imagine, let alone construct and then have people attending it. So,
yes.
An invite to a Ulanti party means something. It's not this ran low, painful and torturous affair of, let's just get through the evening. This would be, let's get through the evening, but in a sort of, what more can be laid at our feet? What more can be given to us? Do you know? So
if you get an invite to the Ulanti event, you're gonna see some shit. Like
yes.
you're going to see things that, how do I put it? You are going to see things that it is not only a privilege, it is unheard of to be invited to one of these events if you are not one of the truly important people. The Helmors wouldn't be invited to these events if they weren't in charge of the whole planet. The Aranthians might. Like, they invite Lady Hera, and she's the only person who says no, because, she just doesn't like the Ulantis. But the minor Helmors, even though they got the surname, they don't have the invite. Hell, there are going to be a lot of Ulanti that don't get invited. Those minor cousins and that sort of thing. Yes.
And I could imagine that when you receive this invite, it's not just simply a pop up on your Vox slate or something like that. It is delivered, in the skull.
It's
of
paper. It's paper. It is
Have you ever
genuine
seen paper? Yeah.
Have you ever seen paper? That's a Waterworld reference for anyone who doesn't understand it. If you don't understand it, stop the podcast. Stop whatever you're doing. I don't care if you're driving, at work. I can't. That's all I do with my life: drive and be at work. But stop. I don't care if you're with your kids. I don't care if you're picking them up from school. Go home.
Yep.
Watch Waterworld, starring Kevin Costner. In my opinion, one of Kevin Costner's two greatest films. The second being The Postman, which is Waterworld but on land. And instead of a mutant, he's a postman. But The Postman, no, The Waterworld. Watch Waterworld. Yes, the invite would be it would be a servo skull, but it wouldn't just be a skull on an anti-grav unit. It would be a skull with golden filigree and and genuine, some special sort of ivy that's been ground into a paint that's been blown into the sockets from Catachan, and it would be actual Terran paper from the birth world of humanity, and you'd get that, and it would simply say your name, and it's written in an ink that is made from the ground bones of some long extinct animal. Everything about it would be excessive. It would be so excessive that the Emperor's children are looking at this and going, tone it down.
Yeah, a bit much, boys. A bit much.
Yeah, bit much. But you'd get that invite, everyone would know you got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody would know. And what I was saying earlier, and then next week, the same thing would happen, but to a different cadre of people. And it is without fail, you do not reject the invite. Like, where ran low, you may reject something from them. They're going to control your finances. I believe House Ulanti would be in such a position they would be able to crush you completely, socially, economically, militarily. Whatever facet they want to go for, they could go for it.
Ran low, destroy your bank balance. Ulanti, destroy your life.
Yes. Yep, exactly.
Whatever is important to you, they take it from you. You like going to a particular dome that has a nice park. They've bought the park and burned it to the ground just to spite you.
Yeah.
You enjoy a particular type of cola. They literally now control the rights to that cola on the planet and have told anyone if they sell it to you, they don't get it anymore. Yeah. Like they're spending millions of credits just to spite you because you for a second thought you were better than them.
Yes.
And they're proving otherwise.
That's exactly my mindset with this. When you're doing that read, and what we know about Ulanti as we talked about them, is that their power and they are probably the most complete in terms of the noble houses, in the sense that they don't just House Grime is 99% militaristic and so forth, and they'll take it out of you in a way that is more understanding of like a battlefield or something along those lines.
Yes.
But Ulanti will take it out of you in every which way. And so Ranlow is money, Grime's military, Ty is the psychic stuff. I believe that House Ulanti is like the jack of all trades amongst the noble houses in terms that it doesn't come from the fact that they are any better than any of the noble houses. It comes from one fact, and that is that they have been around for donkey's years. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They've managed to... They've probably had countless setbacks and countless losses and so forth, but being able to be being able to just constantly be there changes the dynamic of how their houses run, of how much influence they are able to garner. And I'm sure if House Helmore or House Aranthus decided to turn the screw on them and really hurt them, they probably could. If the Imperium decided that House Ulanti was a threat to the Imperium, if the Imperium wanted to turn the screw on House Ulanti and say, we're done with you, then yes, they would probably disappear into history. But within the normal confines of life on Necromunda, they would be an element that you just do not go near unless you know what you're doing. And even then, be prepared for anything.
Well, given that, so House Ulanti came to be in the 35th or 36th millennium. So they've been around for anywhere between 4.5 to, let's say, 6,000 years.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any other noble families that have been around for that long. So Ulanti, obviously, that goes back to the Blades, and eventually becoming was the Ulandari, and then they broke into the Ulanti and the Athenos, and became clan houses. Athenos became a clan house, and Ulanti became the noble house. Now, as it sort of happened in that respect, during that, let's just call it even, say, 5,000 years. Yep. During that 5,000 years, they have been absolutely creating marriages and alliances and the type of things that keep a dynasty going. So when you say that they are able to destroy whatever makes you you. It's because they have that loyalty and those connections where it might be, hey, Makeda, whatever you are, of whatever faction of the Makeda you belong to, your great-grandfather's second cousin's uncle's brother was actually my great-grandfather's fourth cousin twice removed sister's husband's brother. It's like, okay, yep, that makes us family, and you're doing trade deals with that guy? Well, I think I really don't think you should be anymore. And they know what's going on. They're just like, you're giving me the old Ulanti ultimatum here, aren't you? It's I screw them for you, or you get someone to screw me. I'm just picturing I'm picturing this woman in this enormous ball gown with the long train, kind of like just the most pedantic, like over-accentuated wedding dress you've ever seen. And this is just her casual, like walking down the street clothes. And she's got the fake mole. There's a bunch of servo skulls floating around her. And then I'm just picturing, like, there's these child servitors that are walking in front of her throwing petals because she won't walk on ground that isn't covered in petals. I'm just trying to think of the most excessive stuff I can. And he's looking, and she's just like, and then this trader's like, yep, all right, done. And it's something completely innocuous, like they stop a particular type of flower being sold at the local flower stores in the flower shops of this particular hive level.
I was just going to say, the most booming business in Necromunda, the flower trade.
Or for the nobles, and it's like it's just because she knows that this particular person who's offended her, it was his former wife's or his deceased wife's favorite flower, and it's just, I've taken away something that you love because you didn't bow deeply enough when you sort of saw me at this social event. And it genuinely, to me, like, I picture the Ulanti as rich kids, incredibly deadly and dangerous rich kids.
Yeah,
like
100%. So it's like a classic trope that you see in shows as well, where people who have this, or not just people, these groups that have just tremendous power, they can be petty, as in that scenario that you've given there. They can be just like, no, take this away from them, or let's make it more difficult for them to be able to see their loved ones. By how much? I don't know. Just let's stop this particular train. Let's cut off this road. Let's end this route. Let's cancel this service that the Imperium provides.
Let's kill his family.
Let's kill his family. There we go. So, and the thing that's about it is, it's not because they can do it. Obviously they can do it, and there's probably other noble houses who can do it as well. It's the complete disregard for any retribution that would come at them. You know, they have zero fear when it comes to retribution, when it comes to vengeance, when it comes to taking one back, you know, against House Ulanti. It'll be like, okay, you can get your one back. And I believe they would look at their history and say, we have suffered at times. We have, you know, not always been the strongest or the best or in the most powerful scenarios and situations, but we have persevered, and that is our strength. No matter if you strike us, even if you land a decent blow, it doesn't matter, because we will persevere. And your actions, whatever you have done, will be recorded and noted, and we and other members of House Ulanti will come for you, because they're almost beyond a house. They're almost an organisation scale. They're able to use their resources off-world. And again, that's another facet of their power that makes them so strong, is they've got deep connections off-world. This isn't just a house that exists for and only on Necromunda. This is a house capable of calling in debts, favours, you name it, or even purchasing individuals, bounty hunters, you name it whatsoever.
But
Off
that's exactly it. Yes.
Yeah, so that capacity to extend their reach, they're basically going into a resource area, which is the off-world side of it, outside of the range of most of the other noble houses. And I'll use House Grime as an example again. House Grime would definitely be able to utilize some off-world assets or some off-world connections, but a lot of it would be linked to the Astra Militarum. A lot of it would be linked to military branches, where maybe a subtle approach or maybe a more clandestine attack upon another noble house's power structure or infrastructure is probably not within their forte, or wouldn't be executed very well. It would be quite clumsy and blunt, perhaps. Whereas Ulanti's, the fact that they sell drugs, the fact that they have, many narco lords under their thumb, basically, they have so many different ways in which to affect the planet, and then also in which to affect those off-world deals. So they're appealing to people who want to live the most extreme and highest lifestyle, but with all the benefits of being a naughty no-good at the same time.
And that's something we haven't even touched on yet. Like, yeah, they're the drug dealers that sell to other drug dealers.
Yeah.
The Escher, who are of the clan houses, the biggest manufacturer of narcotics, are manufacturing for House Ulanti. And House Ulanti aren't just manufacturing them through the Escher. They have multiple revenue streams and production streams of these narcotics. We talk about the difference between the clan and the noble houses a lot. We always get into it in these episodes. But when you compare a clan house to a noble house, a clan house may be very powerful in the scale of Necromunda, but they can only be powerful in Necromunda. They can be the most dominant house in a hive, but they can never be a hive. Like, House Ulanti own multiple hives. They own possibly 1 billion people per hive. Let's be logical. Let's say they own 5 hives. So they have, if they really needed to do it, 5 billion people at their beck and call, where they say, you're going to this fight, or we're kicking you out. Okay, now let's say half of those people are the very old or the very young. And in the Imperium, very young means physically can't lift the Laf's gun. So newborns, maybe some of your smaller, uglier toddlers. Like, that's about it. So that's 2.5 billion. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's now say that 20% of that just can't fight. Either through they're mentally unable to grasp it, or the disabled, the way they can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's round it out at an even 2 billion. Cool. Now let's take, who are the strongest clan house do we think? Goliath. Okay. Now let's say in a hand-to-hand combat, a single Goliath on average can take out 5 standard people? 10 standard people?
Maybe 10 if they're not rushing them all at the same time. If they're sort of coming in drips and drabs, say 10. Yep.
Okay, let's say 10. What's 2 billion divided by 10? Like 200 million?
I think so. I'm not great with that, but
let's just say 200 million. You have a calculator?
I do have a calculator. I'm going to do it right now. What did we say? 2 billion.
2 billion divided by 10. 200 million.
Did you say 200 million?
Yeah.
Why is this taking ages? Yeah, 200 million. 200 million.
Okay, cool. We are fully grown men who know math. So you're saying, do you think there are more than 200 million Goliaths I wouldn't think so.
No, definitely not. There's not enough crayons to sustain that. So
There isn't enough crayons in the whole galaxy. So already House Ulanti, in just hand-to-hand combat, could beat House Goliath. All right? And that's before they take that enormous wealth they have by being intergalactic drug dealers and purchase mercenaries, or purchase House Orlok, or turn to House Escher and go, hey, little sisters, we're going to go fight those ugly buggers right over there. You win. We know you are, girlfriends.
because you don't have a choice. So.
You don't have a choice, because if you don't do it, we'll stop buying your drugs. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they are the typical brat rich kid. They know no matter what.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what trouble they get into, outside of, like, openly building a shrine to the four-armed emperor, or saying that guy Horus seemed pretty all right. They can get out of most things just by their sheer influence, be it politically, economically. Like, if they turn around and say, we're not selling drugs to the Imperium anymore, all of a sudden, don't get me wrong, the Inquisition would slap the absolute snot out of them. But it would take the Inquisition to make them do it again. It would take...
Yes.
It would take
exactly
the Adeptus
right.
Terra. Yeah. It would take one of those... It would take an organization that has someone on the High Lords of Terra. It would take that group's influence to get them to do it. If they genuinely wanted to, I think they could have, because of their ability and their power in that respect, they could have taken the Imperial position from the Helmors very, very easily. But they didn't, because of the Dalak, because of the political position that Ronti had put himself into, but also because they know that if they had done it that way, they would not have had the backing of the other houses.
100%. And so just a couple of things that I want to touch on from what you said there. One is...
You're wrong. Everything you said was wrong. I disagree.
No. I totally agree with you. One of the things that I was thinking about earlier when we were discussing, and I was like, I'll save it for a more end point, is 100% they are the next house in the line. If the Urantians weren't there, I guess almost they become the pseudo Imperial House in lieu of House Helmor. But... one of the things that when you're discussing the hives, so imagine your House Goliath which is one of the hives they hold, Hive Valkyria, right? Valkyria.
Yeah.
Or the world. Yeah, Valkyria. That sounds like a good one. So imagine you're a gang leader or a clan house leader in House Valkyria, and you are very powerful and you are very prominent, but you always know to bend the knee to House Ulanti because this is their hive. And then suddenly your house, and say it's a Goliath gang, we'll use them as an example, they don't really know what's going on.
Yep.
Your house then turns to you and says, we are going to be not really adhering to House Ulanti anymore. We are going to be basically telling them to go jump off a cliff. Now, old... tear gut, massive mohawk, as the least impressive name that he has.
Yep.
He's a very, very powerful gang house leader in Valkyria. Do you think he's listening to that? The Ulanti is the one that has got him in power. Ulanti is the one that says, you keep doing what you're doing, Chief. We got zero problems with it. You're ticking all the boxes. You genuflect at the right moments. We are more than happy with your progress and your actions and behaviours. In fact, we're going to give you a few bonuses. So, though we may not support your house totally, we're on your side. And then suddenly you get a knock on the door from your house saying, "All right, well, you got to go kick in the door of House Ulanti." You're going to be doing that with the least amount of enthusiasm. It's like, you probably even go speak to Ulanti and say, "Look, my house wants to do this," and Ulanti, the members of House Ulanti, we know this. It's going to kick off. Okay, So we're not keen on fracturing this relationship. So how about you throw a few of the lesser Ulantis in this room? We kill them, take a few happy snaps of us having, kick the door in on Ulanti and send that back to the boss. And then that will keep them away from Hive Valkyria, because they will know that we're doing our job. I could imagine that kind of relationship would happen.
I can then imagine Ulanti hiring off-world mercenaries to fly a Valkyrie from Valkyria towards wherever hive or settlement this group or this gang or this house is based in, and firing a large number of missiles into it.
Yeah.
And you've said that about attacking a Ulanti controlled dome or hab level or anything like that. You were saying that, and in my mind, House Ulanti would know that, you can get people loyal to the house, and they're great to have as guards and, bodyguards, servants, and that sort of thing. But when you need to protect something important, you can't rely on loyalty. You can't rely on them loving your house. You can't rely on fear. What you can rely on is the fact that the galaxy is a very dangerous place, and Necromunda is a massively important planet. So mercenary companies, rogue traders, all that sort of thing, you would have such fantastic connections with groups like that. I picture all Ulanti facilities, palaces, all that sort of stuff, protected by literally the best mercenaries that money can buy. And the contract would be simple. It's, what are you making? All right, cool. We'll pay you double. And if anyone approaches you, absolutely anyone, if they say they'll pay you more, just tell me. Because it's very Tyrion Lannister. It's like, because I'll pay more. No one is richer than a Lannister. No one is richer than a Ulanti.
Yeah.
And you can just imagine some cocksure little Ulanti going, yep, and that's fine. And what, someone's approached you? All right, good. What did they offer you? Oh, really? Okay, I'll double it.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? I've offended someone because I made a move on her husband. Okay, and they're paying you to bring me to them. Okay, how much for you to bring them to me? I'll double it.
Yep.
There you go. Go get them.
That harps back to what I was saying. Zero fear of repercussion.
Yes.
Zero fear of a negative outcome for themselves. They would be, and it's hard to grasp. Do you know what I mean? We live in a world of action, consequence, all this kind of stuff. To be in an environment where there is zero negative impact upon you unless you wish it, is just something so phenomenal that, and it is, as I said earlier, it's that underbelly of the Imperium that we probably all genuinely hate, but it exists because not only of the history of House Ulanti, and there would be other noble houses on other worlds that would have the same, if not vast amounts of power as Ulanti. But it exists because of the imperial tithe, because of the capitalist nature of what it is. It's about, you just keep making money.
The real enemy.
Paying. The real enemy, yeah. It's just like, you keep making your coin, that's fine. Maintain your power, just maintain the tithe. That's all we care about.
Yeah. Now, speaking of glorious capitalist nonsense, they own a moon that they use as a place to go hunting. Like,
it's gold.
In his wildest of dreams, there is not a single billionaire on our planet who could ever think of something so insane. Can you imagine owning a moon? So you have to have a spaceship that takes you to said moon.
Yep.
Just so you can go and shoot something.
Yeah.
And they're literally Xenos space sport in. Can you imagine some of the nonsense? Like, guaranteed there's a Tyranid there. Guaranteed.
100%. 100%. There would potentially be demons on there. Any like when you say Xenos, they would. Imagine they've got a little warp portal on there or something like that. They keep a chaos cult on there, and they're like, yeah, you can summon what you need to, but we're gonna like stomp you the hell out if you decide to cross us. And they're like, okay, cool, we get to do our chaos worshipping stuff as much as we like, yeah. And then every so often we want to see a demon, and we want to see it fight Space Marine. Let's get us a Space Marine, guys. And so they go track down some foreign, some distant chapter in the middle of nowhere, and they secure themselves a Space Marine. I can see them. This is that top end bonkers power that would exist within the Imperium. They may not get a Custode, and they know that's completely off the cards. They definitely wouldn't get a Primaris, because Primaris are like, just better Space Marines. But sorry, did you want to say something just then? They would
just keep going. Keep going. This is going to be our last episode, so.
They would definitely a 9 warrior. That would be easy as. All they do is just build a wall on the moon. Be like, I'm here! Show me where it is! You got another one of us. That's the 10th one this week. You guys are good. Right. So I could definitely see them being able to secure things that we go, that's not... Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. Yeah, keep going. You're very funny. Yeah.
I know. So I could definitely see them securing things that would just be out of the realm of what you would expect. Like you just like,
yeah, for sure.
How did you get that? Like I could see them making backdoor deals and under the table deals with some of the most nefarious elements of the galaxy, just for entertainment, just for something different.
But with the Xenos beasts, it doesn't say where they come from. And since they deal in drugs, obviously, when we say drugs, we mean all sorts of either narcotics or
ibuprofen.
Sort of, a lot of ibuprofen, a lot of Tylenol.
They feed that to the
Goliath.
I was going to say the scummers, but no, definitely to the Goliath.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but it's not just narcotics, but it'd also be medicinal drugs. Yeah. But I'm also guessing they could be possibly trading raw materials for the creation of sort of these chemicals and that to cold traders, rogue traders, and possibly even the Dark Eldar. I would love for a Dark Eldar to have sold a container full of Urgle to House Ulanti, and they've let that loose on the moon, and or chimerae or warp beasts. Like they're releasing those sort of things there because it's much like the drugs they sell to the Underhive scum. The Ulanti are addicted. And I've just created this in my mind. I'm just convinced they're all addicts. They're addicted to the concept of that thrill of going up there and hunting something more powerful than the other Ulanti have hunted. And I genuinely think some of them have gotten cocky enough to think, if we can get those Dark Eldar, let's shoot down their ship on our moon.
Oh, 100%.
Let's hunt them.
Yeah.
But
that's what I was saying earlier. Like, take something that's so wild, and House Ulanti would have probably attempted it. Like, let's get a Phoenix Cord. Let's get Kahandras. He didn't make it into the last Codex. He's got to be doing something. Let's get him onto the moon. let's see if we can get him. So
what's Astrobale Vec doing? Let's get him up here.
Yeah, you've been out of the law for a bit. Come on, buddy. But I legitimately think a ploy like that. Let's shoot down a Dark Elder ship. Because, and as I say, I view them as an organisation more so than a house. As an organisation, we've taken thousands of casualties for shooting down that Dark Elder, Void Cruiser or whatever it was, or Void Scuttle Ship, whatever. But that's okay. We can promote a whole bunch of new Ulanti. We can fill our ranks up. We can use our genetic breeding program to create more Ulanti. Our resources are infinite. And I know I've stressed the point, but I cannot express it more, that their resources are not just the wealth, it is the capacity there, the already established infrastructure to be able to do things on a whim. Like, okay, let's do it. Let's get into it straight away. We want to produce more weapons, let's do it. We don't need to go get a manufacturer. We don't need to set up all this. We don't need to, third and fourth party dealings to be able to make sure our processes happen. We just flick the switch. Robert's your mother's brother. Let's go.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, moving away from us sort of going on this rant on the Ulanti. So in regards to the alliance with House Ulanti, any gang may form an alliance with House Ulanti. In addition, they don't care if the gang is law-abiding or outlaw. What matters most is that the alliance benefits House Ulanti. So they obviously have a strong alliance with House Escher, and their first rule is actually very, very cool. While the gang is allied with House Ulanti, they add 2d6 times 10 credits to their stash during the collect income step of the post-battle sequence. They are rich and they cannot be seen hanging out with people who are too poor. So once again, they will give you that pittance.
Just one of the things, though, is like the idea that they would take on somebody that's non-law abiding. And I know probably the other noble houses can do it, but it just shows that they would not care where you're from. They're just like, as long as you serve us, that's all that matters. Yeah. But anyway,
as long as we benefit from it, who cares?
Yeah, yeah.
Then during the pre-battle sequence, the gang may add a House Ulanti court advisor to their gang. If the gang is facing an enemy allied with either another noble house or a criminal organization, they must include a House Ulanti court advisor, unless they choose to test the alliance instead. The court advisor is the sort of delegation that comes from House Ulanti, and we'll touch on that in a minute. The drawbacks, this one is basically just called inevitable betrayal. If the gang loses a battle, they must test the alliance. If the alliance is broken, the gang's most recent opponent, i.e. the gang they lost their battle against, may form an alliance with House Ulanti for the next battle, even if they already have an existing alliance. After which, the alliance with House Ulanti is automatically broken, and this does not trigger the inevitable betrayal special rule. Can you imagine being allied with, let's say, House Catalyst, and you're going into a game catalyzing someone, and you can also, because of your second alliance with House Ulanti, bring a court advisor at the same time, because you can just choose to do it if you want to.
Yeah, right.
Imagine taking a second delegation to a game. And imagine it being against the poor bastard you just beaten in last week's campaign turn to cause him to lose his alliance, and then you show up with his former allies and some nutjob clowns from Catalyst, and you catalyze / demonetize this prick all at once.
Yeah. It's just like, all right, I get it. I'm no good. I'm not Ulanti material. I do apologize. But that just speaks to how, like, exactly what they are as well. They're just like, you're weak, you're useless. We don't need to partner with you because you're just some gang, You've
embarrassed us.
Yes, that's it. That is it. You have embarrassed us. How dare you? That is the worst thing you could have done. What you have done to our prestige, what you have done to our reputation, is just so bad that we're now going to kick the living daylights out of you next time we see you.
Yep. And the last drawback is actually connected to one of the benefits. In excessive wealth, you're obviously rolling 2d6. Now, Ulanti are easily bored by Underhive gangs, and the slightest thing can cause them to withdraw their support. During the collect income step of the post-battle sequence, if the gang rolls a double on the 2d6 when collecting income from the excessive wealth rule, they must test the alliance. So if you make too much money from them, they think you're getting uppity and will force you to test the alliance.
But it's not even too much. It's like you roll a double one, they're just like, Look at these common problems that these commoners have.
Yep.
This is so common. Oh, I hate this so much. It's like, but I'm sorry. The common thing is speaking in common tongue. Blah. I'm out of here.
Someone shoot him on the way out.
Yeah. But not with a common weapon. Something extravagant.
Something fancy.
Yeah.
Where's that Blazooga?
Boo. Yes, go on.
So, Nathan, why don't you read about the House Ulanti Court Advisor? Because this, to me, funnily enough, being the personification of House Ulanti, but this still personifies in my mind House Ulanti in their interactions with the Lessers.
Sometimes agents of House Ulanti are dispatched into the lower regions of the hive to oversee important dealings or to observe the endeavours of its subjects and allies. This kind of interference from on high can be a boon to a clan house or guilder family, as the Ulanti bring with them vast amounts of wealth and influence, as well as skilled warriors and their own talents for conflict resolution. Equally, having such an important individual shadowing a gang can present its own risks. For instance, how best to explain to a family that their loved one caught a stub round in the head in a bar fight in an especially insalubrious part of the Underhive? Fortunately, those House Ulanti courtiers that do see fit to visit Hive City or the Underhive are usually trained as duelists, having perfected their skills on servants in mock battles in the Spire. That is just the epitome of, just a horrible way of living. It's such a decadent way of living, just practicing on the poor servants. These entitled tourists also bring their own bodyguards with them. The Ulanti favour the use of mirror masks, augmented warriors who wear hologrammatic masks to look like their masters. These noble doubles are designed to confuse assassins as well as make the noble look good. One can be sure that any impressive combat feats perpetrated by the mirror mask will be claimed by the courtier. Both courtier and mirror mask also have access to the finest in personal weaponry their house can afford, and, given the deep coffers of Ulanti, these are very fine indeed. In recent times, numerous House Ulanti courtiers have travelled down Hive looking for the noble outcast Princess Dion Ulanti, who remains enemy number one of the great house. So far, though, House Ulanti has found no sign of their wayward daughter, unless you count the courtier bits routinely sent back to the Spire.
Oh,
so
Donna, you beautiful Mama Gemma.
That is Mad Donna. Yes. I've never actually seen her name as that. I probably have, but I've forgotten about it.
Yeah, the owner.
The owner, yeah. Right, this is
something Michael Jackson used to say.
The owner.
The owner.
I think that was exactly what he based it on. So, the courtier. I love that particular line in there about the courtier. It's like, my mirror masks are doing so well. Oh, that was all me, guys. That was 100% Phil the courtier, just doing backflips. But you weigh 180 kilos, and it's like, yeah, that's okay. I was doing the backflip. Oh, okay. Well,
I'm light on my feet.
Yeah, you're in a hover chair. Light on my feet. I'm not on my feet. Up there for thinking. So, yeah, the court advisor is, and I think it says it perfectly in there, is a blessing and a negative for whichever gang. And we've already spoken about that. They can just come down and just be so unimpressed with what they're seeing and how they're seeing things perpetrate down in the hive, that they're just like, how do we spark this up? How do we make it more exciting? And the best outcome would be for them to leave that situation and go find entertainment somewhere else. But more than likely, they're not going to. And they're going to create scenarios and circumstances where that particular clan, house, or guilder family is put under more stress and strain. That particular gang is going to find themselves in quite tumultuous situations, just as a bit of pure entertainment for the courtier.
But also, if you look at the artwork in the House of Blades, like the courtier is, and it's Barbilla Ulanti Poiteri, obviously married either a Poiteri or, maybe she's part of a distant sort of avenue of the house where they've sort of out married but remained in the family. She's wearing that ball gown. She's got the corset on. There's a lot of imperial iconography, the skulls everywhere in that. And she's got, is it the powdered wig sort of curler look to the side? Yeah. But then you look at her, and she has a power sword down one side. She's got the hand rested there. She's got rings that look almost like claws. She's got the needle pistol. She's got knives and blades clearly all over her. And not to mention she'd have a displacer field somewhere there as well. She is that perfect mixture. She looks like an Escher who is on their way to a ball sponsored by Disney.
Yes. Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there. So, like an Escher who's just like, I'm going to dress up as my favourite Disney princess. Oh, that's lovely. But I'm also packing a power sword, a needle pistol, a whole bunch of poison blades, digilasers, a venom claw. Did your Disney princess wear that? No, but it's about individual interpretation.
If Belle was from House Escher, she would have slapped the absolute dog snot out of Gaston the moment he touched her book. And also would have killed that little short guy as well. And Beast, I'd have him collared and sold to the local cold traders, and they'd be taking him up to that moon. I'd have that whole castle for myself. And it's just like, I want to read your copy of Beauty and the Beast. But no, the courtier is that. It's that 40k noble / sci-fi nonsense. Like everything she has, you can see the hairpins are actual weapons. She's got almost like a skull painted on her face in makeup, where she's got paint along her lips so it looks like the teeth of a skull. There's it does look like she has the sort of her cheekbones and up across her nose and up towards her forehead, the ridge there, painted white, so she almost looks like a skull.
Well, see, for me, that would be something I imagine the courtiers would do. So they would want to have a very intimidating and that opulent presence as well. So it would be like, yes, I come down Hive and I might look like a bit of a fop or a bit of a non-combatant. But the reality of the situation is that everything that you see about me proves that I am capable of fighting and I will be fighting. Yep. But also I think that sort of painted death mask is just another way of saying I am dangerous, I am deadly. And I think the idea would be then to say, this is my war paint. This is the special masquerade that I wear to play the role of a courtier. This is our tradition that we bring to you. But don't be fooled by the dress, because we are still packing a ridiculous arsenal of weaponry.
That was awesome. I really liked that. Well done. Yeah. But no, that's exactly how I see it. You are 100% on the money. But then, on top of that, you have the mirror mask. So the Ulanti courtier has a needle pistol, a power sword, and a displacer field. The mirror mask has a needle pistol, a power sword, and a displacer field. Their stats are exactly the same. The two of them are insane fighters. Weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 4, but 2 wounds, 2 attacks. They just get in there and just they're causing some pain. And so if a house, this is a crazy rule here, duelist. If a House Ulanti courtier is attacked by a fighter making a charge, they make their reaction attacks before the one charging them makes their
Wow.
attacks. They attack before the person who charged. So if you attack well enough, you could possibly kill your enemy after they've charged you, before they've attacked.
Yeah.
And then the Mirror Mask, when you activate them, you can just swap their position with the courtier. Doesn't matter where on the board they are. They could be on opposite sides of the board, and they would just swap positions. And it doesn't matter if one of them is engaged or prone. You just swap them. So that Mirror
That
Mask
is
only...
bonkers.
It's insane.
That is bonkers.
It's insane.
If your courtier is just lying prone on the ground, gets charged, and is like, uh-oh, Spaghetti-O, the Mirror Mask goes, I got you, boss. Don't worry.
Boss.
Yep, do the old switcheroo. And where I was just about to swan dive off the top of a building, I'm now in your position.
Yep.
That is insane.
Ridiculous.
You could like, do you know what it means that you can do? And it's not something we do talk about a lot, about like game terms, right? You could run your courtier around like an absolute Fruit Loop. Just getting in there and just wanting to pick fights, like close combat fights, obviously. And you just hold back the Mirror Mask. And then when it gets a bit too hairy, you just go, no, let's switch over now. I'm done with
Bye.
that.
Bye.
Wow. That is
Oh, no,
nuts.
I've taken a wound. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
how
that a lot.
stupid dumb is that? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
love it. And we haven't even gone into sort of our ideas on it, but we don't really need to go too much into the court advisor because we've talked about all this already. These are the ones going down there and slapping out that house justice on these on the gangs that have offended them, or those lesser nobles that one of the members of House Yolanti's taken an interest in and thinks, you know what, I'm gonna show how much better I am than this House Goreshed, simpleton. I'm gonna invite them to one of our parties, and the invitation got lost. Like the person taking the invitation was killed by nomads, and this Ulanti member has just been like, how dare they spit in my face after I invite them? I'm going to kill their whole family. And they send this courtier and the Mirror Mask out at the head of this Venator hit squad to go and attack this House Goreshed settlement because of Ashwaste nomads. Like, I know I've said it a bunch of times, but I genuinely look at House Ulanti like a brat gang that has just taken over an entire house.
Yeah.
In fact, like, they are. Did you ever watch Gossip Girl?
No, I can't say that I have. No.
Okay, I love Gossip Girl. I think it's a great show. I watch it from start to finish once a year. And
Great. Sounds
there's
healthy.
a character in that show called Chuck Bass.
Yep.
And Chuck Bass's big thing is he's the son of an incredibly wealthy man, and because he's got that money, he sort of does what he wants, and it doesn't matter if he gets in trouble because money gets him out of it. And I'm now picturing Chuck Bass from Gossip Girl and for those, like, hopefully more than 0 people who are listening to this episode who actually know what I'm talking about, I'm picturing Chuck Bass at the head of a Venator kill squad because someone snubbed him at a party. Like, it's that's how I view them.
I want to see, what does Chuck Bass look like?
Chuck Bass. Just look up Chuck Bass.
No, it's just people throwing fish.
Just people throwing fish.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yes,
okay.
I see what he looks like, and yes, that would make sense. Have
Snooty
somebody
rich
like
kid.
him.
Yep.
Yeah. Just a snooty little rich kid going, get my favourite Venators up here. Oh, they've all been wiped out. Well, okay, kill their families for them getting wiped out. That's disgusting.
Kill their families and then get me more.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how dare they allow themselves to get wiped
sick
out?
of the excuses. get me another squad of Death Corps of Krieg and tell them they're doing it for the Emperor.
Yeah.
Just,
See,
why am I the one doing everything around here?
Yeah, this is why I'm better than you people, because I have to do all the thinking. Yeah. And
Am I the only person who works around here?
Yeah, exactly. And you would have these Ulanti nobles who would behave like that, and everybody's just too terrified to say anything to them. You know, like to say, well, actually, it was your fault they got killed, or, you know, we've just organised everything and you've just stood in and claimed all. It's just like, oh, yeah, I guess. No, how dare you take that from me? I'm going to wipe you all out.
How dare you? Oh, and just those exasperated sighs. Fine, I'll do it myself. As I climb into my Oris spire rig and go down and kill a settlement full of just innocent people because, you know, it's just another magic Monday.
I just feel like I need to stretch today. What are you doing? Oh, well, there's some marketplace that, you know, when I look down, there's a little bit of smoke that comes up that slightly blocks my view from my window. And if I can get rid of that marketplace, there'll be no smoke from there, whatever they cook down there. So I'm just going to wipe out all them. Plus, it's good for my well-being. I really stretch out my limbs and, you know, get a bit of cardio.
I'm just realigning my chakras.
Yeah. Exactly. Absolute bunch of bar stewards. Yeah.
So we do have some very famous people from House Ulanti.
Stop there, how dare you. There is only one famous person from House Ulanti, only one worth talking about, and that is Flag Lieutenant Hito Ulanti, second in command of the Lord Solar Macarius. Now, why is he so amazing and famous?
Because he was a flag lieutenant and first officer of the dictator-class cruiser, the Lord Solar Macarius of the Imperial Navy.
That's not right. Why is he so famous, and what makes him so great?
Are we talking about Hito Ulanti, or are we talking about Lord Solar Macarius?
Well, you've answered effectively the question there, because in some way, shape, or form, he has a link to Lord Solar Macarius. There you go.
He was the flag lieutenant and first officer of a ship named after Lord Solar Macarius.
He has the essence and soul of Lord Solar Macarius. How dare you? Disgusting.
It's actually from a book called Execution Hour, and it is a fantastic book. And Hito, they sort of mention that he is obviously of the House Ulanti of Necromunda, and it talks about sort of a little bit about his upbringing in that, where he genuinely stares down a commissar at one point. A commissar points a bolt pistol at his face, and he's looking at this commissar and just sort of going, "Yeah, but I'm right." Like, that's how confident he is because of his upbringing, and obviously because of where he grew up, he was an excellent fighter. He was known. He was actually. It's mentioned in the book because I have Execution Hour. I've read it. I'd say half a dozen times. It literally talks about how he is a very, very skilled duelist. Like there are a couple of times where he actually goes into hand-to-hand combat in this book against mutineers and bodies them. He just bodies them.
Right. Wow.
And sort of he's a noble of the planet, but he does keep some of that noble nonsense with him, even though he's in the Navy now. Like he still is. He only sort of interacts. He mainly interacts with other people of breeding or of position. But he has a really nice room on his ship. Like, it's got like artwork and candles, and he has a concubine. He just has a girlfriend that goes with him. So even though he's got the military discipline, he's a member of the Navy, and he's the first officer. Like, he's next up when the captain dies. He's still got that
that noble,
that sort of
nonsense.
noble flair. It's definitely a book I recommend people read. He's a bit of a dick, but at the same time, the way he evolves as a character and an officer is very apparent during the book.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. I might. I haven't looked at it myself, so I might have a little.
I'll lend it to
dabble
you.
in
I'll literally give it. I'll give it to you on Friday.
Yeah, cool. Easy. Done. Yeah, right. So I don't think there's anybody else really important from House Ulanti after that.
Well, there's Mad Donna. We've talked about Mad Donna a lot.
We have, actually. Yeah.
And I think we're going to see. I think she's going to be released. If you're listening to this episode, when I think you're going to be listening to it this afternoon / this evening, I think we're going to get an announcement of Mad Donna.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the 12th daughter of Sylvanus, who is currently the patriarch of House Ulanti. So she's 12th in line to be the next leader of House Ulanti, and her full name is Daon Astrid Gay Sylvanus Ulanti, or as it actually comes down to, Dione, the divinely beautiful daughter of Patriarch Sylvanus of the House Ulanti. I can see why she goes by Mad Donna.
Everybody addressing it as that, it's just like, this is still my head in. Like, this is driving me mad. Oh, is it now? Donna. Ding, ding, ding. That's how she got it.
Yes, and Survival Instinct by Andy Chambers, I think it was basically about Mad Donna. It's an insane book, and some of the stuff it goes into, some of the little side bits of information, like it talks about wireweed and that sort of thing. The way it talks about them it's just such awesome sort of fluffy background information that I think everyone should know. If you haven't read the N95 novels, please go out and read them. Get them. I get a wine on the Apple Store, and I've just got them on my iPad. It's great. It's awesome. It's awesome. I love them. I think it's a great book.
Yeah, right. No,
those are the two. Those are the two
that I haven't read. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay.
I'd give you my iPad, but then I'd have nothing to do. You're not having my iPad.
Yeah.
Okay. So read Survival Instinct, read Execution Hour. Nathan, I went first with House Ran Low. So what is your Ulanti gang idea?
So my one is stems from the moon, and these are a House Ulanti beast wranglers. No, there's no chance.
100%. I'm going to be I was going to do a gang of basically the Predators from the Predators movie, where they steal them and drop them all on that planet, and they're going through the jungle, and there's the different Predators, and they were going to be Ulanti Predators. Just do your gang idea.
Oh my god, that's what I was referencing inside my head. Actually, that movie, that's crazy. But these are more sort of like the beast wranglers that after the hunt, there'll be certain amounts of beasts that maybe don't get killed. There'll be others that maybe just got wounded and so forth. And so their role is to go capture these. They're also on the planet to go capture anything that might be breeding too much, anything that has gone AWOL. But the term, I guess, Xenos on the moon would, in my opinion, would be used very, very liberally. So you may end up having, they might need to kill a demon, and they've got to work out how to do that. They'd be on very, very tight timelines and strictures about how and when things are killed. They'd also be used in the role of procuring more beasts as well. So when, say, that Dark Elder shipment comes through, the Dark Elder might just for a joke just drop the animals on the planet and be like, there you go, enjoy the animals. We've done our job. We got them to this moon like you asked. See you later. So they would be used to track down those. And I don't know if you remember, it's way back in the day now, there was the Armageddon Orc Hunters. And so they would use like
Yes.
orc weaponry and have have like orc skulls on them and all this kind of stuff. That's
Do I know what Armageddon orc hunters are? I think I've mentioned them like 1,800 times during our history of doing this podcast. They're also one of the coolest. Okay, I get what you're doing. It's like every time I ask you if you've seen Stargate. Sorry, no, I'm an idiot. Continue.
So these Xenos hunters, each one would be a specialist in a certain type of animal. So you would have like a gyrinx or something like that, and they would have the panoply of what it is. So the claws would make up their weapon. They would have skins and so forth. You might even have one. They would have an ambot in there that was, used to kill an ambull. And so they dress it up as an ambull. They have almost an infinite amount of resource available to them. So you got to think about this gang. This gang provide the entertainment to the most powerful house on Necromunda. So the top tier, they've got the full party supply room open. So weapons, and yes, guess what gang they're going to be? Obviously Venators, because there's no other way you can equip a gang the way that you can equip a Venator gang. And they would have trophy racks. They would be over the top. They would be so ostentatious. They'd be so crazy. So even the one that hunts the antlions would wear like a lion pelt and, have the big head, the lion's head mounted on its shoulder and so forth. No, nothing. All right.
No, I got it. I've got a rebuttal coming. Don't worry.
So, each member would be a representation of a different type of beast, and I think that would be such a cool modelling project.
I'm picturing them. You know how the beast wranglers for the modern range, it's like each of them almost has they're dressed in the skins of the animals they're doing. The Millosaur guy has the Millosaur. I think it'd be great to see. Like you almost go, like the what are they called? The little ash waste nomad buggies, the little worm things, like the dune worm things. You could have like them, but actually have like a cape made out of them, and they'd be wrangling them. Like you could do some really cool, like maybe one of them has a coat made of the skins of fear cats. Just one. It's like, do you remember that episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns stole all the puppies?
I believe.
You literally have
my best.
But a suit made of dogs, two more for matching clogs. You'd literally have each of them, like you'd have the guy with the vest made of real gorilla chest. Then there's sweater made of eccentric Irish setter. Grizzly bear underwear, turtlenecks. That guy'd have his chair. Beret of poodle on his noodle. The guy with loafers made of former gophers. But like, you could genuinely turn that into a very cool sort of, like, if not haphazardly dressed gang. They would look very effective.
I reckon it'd be such a cool looking gang, all donned up in all this, and but still very much like House Ulanti agents as well. So they would still look like the trophy hunters out of old school safari hunts and so forth. So they would have maybe a few I think it's called a pith hat and all the rest of it, and guns would be like too much over the top. They'd have an elephant gun the size of a small child,
like the hunter from Jumanji. When he comes out of Jumanji, he's got the big elephant gun. Yeah, that would be sick.
So imagine that kind of over-the-top hunter aspect, which is how you could imagine House Ulanti would view themselves, and then smash that against wearing animal pelts and all of the stuff that makes them an expert in hunting their particular animal. So that would be my gang idea.
Yeah, I really like that. My gang idea is the gang made out of the song from The Simpsons, of all the different animal costumes.
Sure.
Really, a lot of them are just vests made of gorilla chests. No, I think that's great. Mine is more heading towards the. We mentioned the Cordia heading around with the Venators basically as like a punishment squad.
Yeah.
I'm picturing, and I made a gang very similar to this during our Escher episode, I believe, where I would have maybe one or two younger members of House Ulanti being led by a Cordia and the Mirror Mask, as well as a couple of sort of very well equipped Venator mercenaries.
Yeah.
Maybe I. No, you know, I'm going to go with my original idea. Picture the predators from the movie Predator. Now, take these Ulanti, but they've almost distanced themselves away from House Ulanti. They've gone down Hive, they've gone with the cousins of House Escher, and, you know, they're learning the ganger lifestyle. Because remember how House Ulanti will basically send young daughters to the Escher and say, look after them, make sure they live, and teach them how to skin people while they're still alive.
Yeah.
And so I'm picturing them, but I want to make these young girls from House Ulanti have enjoyed the Escher lifestyle just a little bit too much.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
And they've seen what the wild runners do with the bows and the animals. Now picture almost ball gowns and compound bows. Like, they've still got the corsets, but instead of the sort of ruffly dress, they've got pants made out of like the animals they've hunted, where they've got hoods made out of fear cat pelts, and they've got the power swords and the needle pistols, but the bow's more of a long range. I would really fall into that hunter aspect of Ulanti in that respect, and the wild runners, but the gear they would have would be so much more high tech than your average wild runner. This is where the predator comes into play.
Yeah.
They would have, like, one of them would have a series of servo skulls so they could flush out whatever they're hunting, and as their target's coming at them, the servo skulls hit them from all angles, but their web guns, their needle pistols, they're less lethal. They want to bring them down because they want their prey alive. Because
I see this.
They're not there for the kill. They're there for the cruelty.
Oh,
because you remember, these girls are the cream of the crop of House Ulanti, who have learned their position and what they are up Hive. They've come down Hive to their cousins and they've learned to refine their murderous abilities. And now they're using it as a way to collect, not necessarily bounties, but reputation. They want to be feared by the Escher, but respected by the Ulanti.
Wow.
So I would do them up as basically, I'd be mixing in like wild runners, daughters of Cain, inquisitorial agents, obviously, but then also you want, you'd maybe take the corseted bodies from the novitiates and then change the legs to the Escher legs.
Yeah, that's a great idea. But see, I the way you're describing them, they come from all of the different branches of Ulanti as well. So the tiny little nuances in the way that they address their attire, their weapons and all that would represent which faction of the family they actually originate from, and how that small amount of influence changes how they're seen within House Ulanti and how they're respected and so forth. So you'd have a very uniform looking gang, but on an individual basis, there would be small things that would clearly tell them apart from one another. You go, oh, that's a member of Lady von Vieren's, household. So they always wear a plume across the right part of their headdress, as opposed to everybody else who's wearing it on the left, or whatever the case might be. And so we know her via that referencing. But I love the idea that they capture things for the sense of cruelty. They're like, okay, like maybe we let it run again so that we can rebuild that fear within it and take it down again. And it's almost like a torturous thing. I don't see them necessarily openly torturing because I don't think that reflects like their power to take something that's already broken and weak and just cut reams off it for no other reason than just to hurt it wouldn't necessarily be the best application of power. But to do that, to do the exact same action I was talking about, but in front of another gang or in front of another group from a noble house, I could see them doing that and just saying, look at this beast and we're just going to slowly kill it, or this person, and we're going to slowly take them apart. And we have no fear of this. And then that puts, and it's not even about the no fear, there's like no remorse. There's almost no humanity to them. And so that's what you're saying, that aspect of Ulanti doing whatever they want to do, however they want to do it, and without any fear of reprisal. That's what I can imagine these daughters would be trying to enact.
Did we somehow create, like, human female night lords? The night ladies?
Night ladies. They did used to call themselves ladies of the night, but they had to kill a lot of people who were requesting something different from them.
I'm now picturing them almost like night lords in that, like what you said there. They're not necessarily just wanting to, like, killing them's too easy. They want them. They want to create that fear. Yeah, I really like that. I mean, I don't like that. I think that's probably quite cruel. But yeah, no, I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm envisioning this gang as just being very, very ruthless and completely heartless, like Dark Elder, Brides of Cain, witch elves, that kind of deal.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I really like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's my gang idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a big fan of it. And I think that would be a great game to sort of play where you'd go, what's the word I'm looking for? Like ranged, but you'd almost be, you'd really have to, play them almost. You're making a move, then you're spending a turn falling back because you're trying to draw the enemy to you and trying to drop traps on them. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, lots of traps in the gang, things like that. Just they'd just be god awful, annoying things because they know that's what helps engineer the terror from the Night Ladies.
Yeah,
that's your gang name, by the way, the Night Ladies.
The Night Ladies. Yeah, done.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Right. So I think that's it, isn't it? That's we've done the noble houses. We've done well. I've done well.
I mean, you've done all right. You've done all right. I've done pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. I was trying to get you to give yourself a compliment. You don't do that enough.
No, it's great. We've finished another series there, which is great for us because we want to start getting into some more newer stuff. But like, I don't know what to say. The noble houses. Okay, so from this episode, of the two, which has been your favourite noble house? I'm going to know the
obviously,
answer.
Ulanti.
Yeah, Ulanti have just been insane.
Mile. There's so much option with them, so much there's just so much going on with them. It makes it just makes you want to play them, to use them, to collect them. So yeah, for yourself. And what about for yourself?
Yeah, the Ulanti, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But of all the noble houses, all 6 of the noble houses, which has been your favourite altogether?
So we've got Ranlo, Ty, Ulanti, Grime, Catalyst. Oh, Catalyst, baby. Uh, and who's the sixth one I'm missing out on? Who is it? It's there's Ranlo. There's obviously Ranlo, Ulanti, House Tie, House Grime, House Catalyst, and House.
You said Klein, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No.
Klein, yeah.
Do you know, just for the shenanigans that we created for them, Catalyst.
Catalyst.
Yeah, just they too. I love Ulanti, but it's like noble house on easy mode, whereas Catalyst is just like complete shithousery 24/7. Or that's at least our interpretation of them. So yeah, I'm gonna go with.
You break the alliance with them. You break the alliance with them, and it's just like, we're going to sign an alliance with the narco lords. Rip off the mask. Catalyze!
Catalyze, baby, gotcha.
You're allied with us again, but I don't want to be. Too bad, baby.
Too bad. We're friends now. Buy us a drink. Right. So, which is your favourite house out of all six of them?
I'm sorry, but it's got to be House Tie. And not because Catalysts are amazing, but House Tie are the combined nations of Wales and Japan. Yeah. What was it? Mifemwe Matsumoto? It's obviously House Catalyst. House Catalyst were insane. Followed very quickly, I would say jointly, by Ulanti and Tai. If it weren't for just the absolute, and I'm sorry, I think this is the third time I've sworn this episode, the absolute bullshittery that House Catalyst did, where they can just go, you're not breaking up with us, we're getting married now. Like, they're that level of insane. And I am all about it. I think it's awesome.
They bring a level of silliness that none of the other houses, like, and it's an unintentional silliness, but it's definitely there. But, that's righto. Okay. Where do we go to now? We're lost. We need a new series.
We should talk about our favourite Imperial Fist characters. Boo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, episode's done. Wow, well done. Series is done.
Actually, Fafnir Ran. Fafnir Ran was an absolute badass, and he gave us the Executioners.
Okay, yep. We can talk about just that then. Perfect.
This is a 3-hour episode on Fafnir Ran. All right, let's record that right now. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Underhive Lorekeepers podcast. No, I don't know. We obviously know what we're going to be doing next, but we are always looking for new things, and things are going to come up. And Nathan will call me and be like, "Hey, man, do you know anything about this, or have you read about this?" And I'll be like, "Oh, well, let's read about it." And then we'll read about it, and it'll just be like, "Okay, well, now let's go record an episode about it." So that sort of stuff's going to come. But yeah, there's so much to still talk about. Like, I don't know if I've mentioned it. We have, if Games Workshop released nothing from Necromunda from this point right here, we have an outline of episodes that goes to like June of 2027.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to talk about. Yes,
there's so much to talk about still.
So we're not.
And that's
going
if they
anywhere.
Release nothing. That's if they release nothing. Please release something. Please.
We're hanging out. We are hanging out. Just give us something.
Hanging out.
Just give us the Aranthian succession. More Aranthian succession.
Just give us potato guns. So this has taken a lot longer than I thought. It has been a long night, and so that is now all done. So on that note, I will close off with a quote, as I am like to do, and this one here actually comes from the House of Blades, and it is about House Ulanti, and I just like the way it describes them, because it really shows a lot of what we've said about House Ulanti being echoed by their close allies, House Escher. Those Ulanti folks are capricious ones. They'll throw piles of creds your way 1 minute, then the next they've found someone else to make rich, and it's usually the people that want to kill you. And that's Wide-Eye Friend Senior of the Wicked Sisters of House Escher. Alright, Scummers, as I always enjoy doing, reading out our Patreons at the end of each episode. But I've decided I'm going to mix it up this time. We are going to do it in alphabetical order. And because I'm already a bad person, our first one isn't even a name. It's just a number. It's the 108th. 3 ogres in a trench coat. 50 Shades of Nuln. Adam Bruin. Adam Hicks. Adam James Bruin. Adam Kapdorowski. Adeptus Aquinas. Alistair Z. Alex Adams, Alex Hart, Alfonso the Trader, Amelia Siv, Amelia Wigg, Eamon, Ashley Kaufman, Axel1313, Barks, Bo Stevenson, Bellum Malleus, Ben Davidson, Ben Hansen, Ben Rayner, Boss Muppet, Brad Gilliand, Brent, Brian Shaw Saltbeard. Kind of weird of had to have that much salt in your beard, bro. Brum, Brian Byers, Kakuna UK, Dan, Chad Button, Charles Grant, Chris Batty, Chris Vasiliadis, Christian Vanch, Kieran Sweet, CJ McClellan, Clayton Curry, The Clown Grinder Cultist, Craig Tuff, Cygnus Maximus, Dakamatic, sounds like a robot made of guns. Damien B. Winterburn, Damien Davis, Dan S., Daniel Smith, Danny Harrison, Dave Grant, David Code, David Lindsay, David Soddard, David Sodden, DC Liska, Dean Richards, Dewey Sherwood, Dr. Toe, Baddest Underhive and all the dentist, Baddest Dentist and all the Underhive, Draknar, Drew D, Dr. Fishy Noo, Dusty Cousins, I guess a little worse than kissing cousins, but a little better than begging for money cousins. Ed Strickland, Elusive Badger, Eric McKenzie, Fabio Vornheim, Family Geek, Frogenstein, From Somewhere, better than being from nowhere, Gabriel Campbell, Gardner Seekins, Genghis, Glenn Wilkinson Tuff, Grant Train, Gooka Minis, Gilders, Ford Radio. Once again, congratulations on the 3rd anniversary for those guys over there. Guillermo Castaneda, Garen Sandstrom, Harry Bob the Sump Mariner, Heftats, Hive Market Minis, Matt, love you buddy, Hive Builder, Hive Scum Wonka, Hot Shot Grot, Ian Sinnott, Ian of the Endless, Ivan Bragg, James Kelly, James W, James the Week, Jason Sklenner. I am just terrible with these names today. Jason Turner, Jeff Nelson, Jeremy, Jesse Barton, Jim Bulb, Jimmy Marshall, JK, Joe Bates, Joe Roberts, surprise it's not a Joe Mama, John Cochran, John Baisley, Jonathan Blake, Jordan of Great Scott Hobbies, Josh Hunt, Josh Langworthy, Josh Manning, Josh Penfold, Josh Reynolds, Josh Brandfuss, Justin Hawkins, Jorn Giebner, Kaylin Novak, Kelly Gator, Kenzie Kilgore, Life in the Ruins, Lloyd Goldsmith, Lord Bobbington, The Lowsed Dog, Luke Dyson, Martin Moser, Matt Cook, Matthew Barron, Matthew David, Maddie Pugh, Michael Brown, Michael Stewart, Mikhail Livas, Mike Bright, Mike Stewart, Mike Wright. I wonder if Mike Bright and Mike Wright ever get together and just be like, I hate Mike Light. And if there's any listeners named Mike Light, I'm sorry, but they hate you now. Mohawk Monkey, Morbid Progeny, Morja 477, More Skull, not Richard, then who is he? Nate M, Necro Macho, Nira, Netsurfer 733, Nick O Time, Nick Ole, One Punch Orlock, also Tom, Overlord Bleak, Owen Bebb. Oh, doubled up on there. Must be 2 different accounts. Painting Pieman, Parney Mauser, Patrick Winter, Paul Walsh, Pete Gatrick, Peter McClone, Philippe Sampson, Poseidon's Kiss. Never wanted to kiss Poseidon, but you know what? I'm into it. Procrastinated Painting, Pylon, Perp, Rick Lovey, Rob Hacker, Rob Knight, Rob Vanderpost, Roger Range, Ryan Taylor, Sam Bridges, Samson Kennedy, Sandro Noblich, Scott N. Lahaney, Sean Leary, Sean, Simon Hansen, Simon Westlake, Silent Key, Sprue Whisperer, Stefan Salin, Stephen Livingston, Stuart Whisks, Shimon Bizarowski, Tad Mercer, Tao Hansen, Tim Harrison, Tired 8 Tom, Tom Davies, Tom Hoddle, Treasy, Trent Duncan Jones, Triple Whammy, Tuka Kaikinen, Underhive Tholric, Vote for Pedro, Vermin, Wargammer in the Dark, Whispering Fog, William Payne, William Young, and Yardi. That brings us to, holy hell, 206. Let's ignore a couple of the doubles that for some reason have gone in there. Whether or not they are separate accounts, I don't know. But that means at least 200 of you are either free or paid Patreons. And from myself and Nathan, mostly myself, because Nathan went to the bathroom and I thought I'd just do this anyway. Thank you very much to each and every one of you. We will keep doing this. We will keep doing the podcast and keep doing what we do. Apparently some of you like it. And if you have any ideas, recommendations, requests, complaints, or honestly just want to catch up and shoot the shit, reach out to us, underhivelorekeepers@gmail.com. Reach out to us on Instagram at Underhive Lorekeepers, Facebook. We've got a Discord, jump on there. Just reach out. One of us is always around, and if we're not, well, just leave a message and one of us will call you back. Bye, scummers. See you next week. Oh, and if you are listening to this and you've listened all the way through, you're awesome. And hopefully they announce what you specifically, just you, want at the preview this afternoon. I don't know. It's been a long night. Bye.